I wake up every single day. I am who I say I am. And I get what I get because I live in beast mode. Stop being gazelles. You're not average. You're not even good. You were born to be great.
What's going on? Welcome to another edition of the Secret to Success podcast. I'm your host, CJ. Joined as always by the Bayesian sensation, Mr. Carl Phillips.
What it do? Let's get it.
And Douglas Thomas, who's already on fire this morning.
Early.
We sparked the conversation. I said, just hit record, man. You trying to?
Oh, I promise.
You know what I'm saying? I told he mad at me because I told him his bark was a little worse than his bite. If you don't know, Jalen moved down to Atlanta, so he's down here with me. And he said he cut off, and I said, please give me a break, Jay. I promise you. Jay still got, he probably still got e-debit card.
I can't tell you why he cut off, but he cut off.
Let me say a story real quick. Jay was going to get some wings last night, him and Kel. I was like, yeah, y'all go get some wings. I'll eat some, whatever, with y'all. I knew they didn't have any money, so I was like, here go my card. So Jay went, got the food, came back, we ate. And I was about to go to bed. They were still up. And I was like, oh, Jay, can I get my card back? He was like, oh, my bad. It takes his wallet. I put out his wallet. He was like, my bad, force of habit. I was like, yeah. He got Douglas AT. I told them kids got an unlimited debit.
Access.
I'm like, what is that?
No, he ain't got no unlimited debit.
And what's so funny is I remember when he used to clown the Arringtons about it. And now I said, hoo-hoo. I switched.
See, I used to say I wanted to
be. So for
be.
my podcast world, it is a mama versus daddy. I know a lot of
and
y'all
as we talked about last week, shut your mouth.
Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So here's the deal. My son got, for his 21st birthday, he got a Louis bag. Mm-hmm. And for graduation, he got a Louis bag. Now, you know, me and my wife, we getting into it on the way to the Louis store in New York as we about to scoop him a bag. But I'm going to tell you, my wife shut me down. I ain't going to lie, podcast world, she shut me down. I was like, yo, how you buy my man? Like, what message are you giving buying my son a Louis bag, 21st birthday for graduation? Like, she got a book bag at 21, and he got a luggage set, for graduation.
He showed up at my house looking like Paris Hilton.
Oh,
wow. What in the devil?
I'm like,
but this is what she told me.
Wow, Jay.
Yeah, she shut me down. She said, I ain't never had to pay for your son a lawyer. I ain't never had to pay for him for court. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, hey, I got cousins who, she said I ain't never had to buy Pampers. I ain't never had to buy none of that. So she's like, yo, I got family members who, who unfortunately are doing, I got cousins doing 50, 25, whatever. She was like, you know how much money they spent on lawyers, spent in court? So if I got to spend $1,500 on the bag, you know what I'm saying? I ain't got to buy diapers. I'm like, hey, I can't argue with you. I'm not going to argue. But if I had my way, I promise you, when I went to college,
with a stick with a little bag tied to the end of it.
I went to college with a
little hobo.
Well, I ain't gonna lie, I had one Adolfo suitcase. My grandmother, before she passed, she had bought me a suitcase, but I had that, and then for real, a literal hefty black bag that I had.
Well, at least it was a hefty.
The rest of my
that way it ain't gonna fall through the bottom.
It can stretch.
Hopefully it was the force flex.
So hey, if y'all want to start, not these two, because they still got babies they can control. But for those of you who are adults and want to start
that word
a
lightly,
support
though.
group,
Control,
you know
right? What does that mean?
Listen to me. You'll find out what I mean by that later. But y'all probably ain't getting into it with y'all spouse yet about y'all kids. But my son 21, and I'm still saying to my wife, we ain't gonna do this and we ain't gonna do that. And sometimes at the end of the day, see, now I can fight Jalen and fight Jada, but y'all already know the deal on fighting with Didi. So I pull out my charge card and pay for the Louis bags both times.
Yep, and he showed up here, like I said, looking like a Kardashian. I was like, wow. I was like, this is unbelievable. I said, Jay,
oh, hold on. See, I just got a note, too. I just got a note from Didi. She said, oh, okay, you crying about me spending money on my son Louis, but you weren't crying when we bought Trey that outfit, that polo outfit for...
Ouch.
Hey, look, Trey wearing...
No, I'm saying me. See, she said, she not talking about you. She talking about when I went to polo
Oh yeah,
and
I was about to
Cash
say
little tray out.
because we
I was
Oshkosh
like,
for
you
gosh.
right, my bad.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
What's the other crazy eight?
Oh look, right. Carter's not low key. Carter's be hidden. No, we don't. Yeah,
No, for
No,
sure.
it's expensive, man. And you know, like I said, at the end of the day, you know, he is a good kid, and I think we talked about it before on the podcast. Just in all seriousness, like, you know, you can look at it both ways. You can look at it like you spoiling them, or you can look at it like you raising the standard for what they can accept. Because, like you always say, it's hard to go back to, you know, you rocking the little Burlington bag as opposed to the Louis Vuitton. It's like, yo, you done set a standard and a taste for him. So hopefully he works to that level. But it only works if you pull the cord. You know what I'm saying? If you pull the plug on him, if you keep showering him, then he might not ever have to just grind it out. But
Yeah, and I say this in all seriousness. You know, I talk to people, you know, who are, and this is no disrespect, but people who are either, you know, lower middle class or, you know, what we call sometimes, and no disrespect, but a poverty mindset. This is for people, you know, who don't or who've not experienced wealth. You know, I tell people all the time, when you grow up in poverty, it does not guarantee that you're gonna grow up in wealth. You know what I'm saying? Like, people look at me and be like, yo, it was the grind. You was homeless. You know, you dropped out of school. You got that bite. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I'm like, yeah, it's a lot of people that I grew up with, you know, who dropped out of school, who, you know, fell on hard times, who are not where we are right now. You feel what I'm saying? Like, so it's not like you grow up in poverty and you grow up, you know, without. Now, I didn't grow up in poverty. You know what I'm saying? I grew up, you know, in the working class. But just because you grew up in that situation doesn't guarantee you're going to blow up. And just because you grew up in wealth doesn't mean that the next generation is necessarily going to be wealthy. You know, so it is a, I'm talking about, man, and we need to do a podcast on this. I'm teasing, but we need to do a podcast on this at some point, because even in my own home, bruh, you know what I'm saying, there is a different philosophy. So you think because I grew up a certain way, working class, Didi grew up working class, you would think me and her would be on the exact same page in terms of, you know, how we do what we do. You know what I'm saying? But Didi would never buy a Louis for herself. But I bought her, you know, a few. You know, but she would buy for her son, or she'd buy for her daughter as a reward for, like I said, 21, graduating from college. Whereas for me, the gift I gave my son, was a job. You know what I'm saying? That's how I looked at it. And somebody else might look at that as kind of crazy. But for me, my gift for my son when he graduated was, you got an opportunity to work at Rock Nation, you know, or you got an opportunity to work for your dad. So for me, I felt like, yo, putting you in a position where you get a job and you can earn your money was my idea. But my wife's idea, it's even funny. When he went to, he came to the A, his mom was like, you got any cash? And he was like, no, I don't got no cash. She's like, okay, I don't want you traveling without cash. Here go a couple dollars. I wouldn't have never thought. I'm like, him do whatever. But his mom was like, and I was going to say something, but I was like, you know what? I don't have the right to say nothing. Like, that's her child. You know, she gave birth to him, and I'm not about to fight. We about to go on an 8-day trip. I ain't about to fight with her over that and then end up ruining our trip. But I'm just saying, in general, I wouldn't have given him cash. I'm like, yo, you got a job. Why don't you have cash in your pocket? Like, why didn't you deposit some money and put it in your pocket? But, you know, like I said, moms was like, oh, you can't be traveling without that. And so I'm pissed because I'm going to holler at him. He could have bought the wings with that money his mom gave him. He going to take your charge card like he ain't got no money. So we're going to have a discussion about that.
What about the dynamic now of Jada? Because, like, how y'all operate with Jada? Is it completely different?
Oh, let me tell you something. Boom that had the debit card since she was 6.
Right, that's what I'm saying. What's that?
I'm saying, though,
she got orders popping up at the crib. I'm like, what kid, 11 years old, just got boxes sitting at the front door of stuff?
Yeah, but I'm not going to lie. It's a difference between, you know, for real, it's a difference between your children. My daughter is not, like, Jada would never, and I'm not going to say never, she's 19. Jada ain't got no Louis. Like, she ain't on that. You know, Jalen is the more high-end kid. My daughter, yeah, she might have, like, whatever, but she's buying it from China, and it's like $15, $16. Jada wouldn't spend $50 on a shirt to save her life. Like, she's not into that. You know what I'm saying? So she's probably a lot more responsible. Jada has a job this summer as well. Jada gonna use her money. Like, she ain't gonna use your money. I can't remember the last time Jada said to me, Dad, can you put some money on my in my account, on my debit card? She works. Like, she just not like that. She is her mother's child. Like I said, I gotta buy Didi a Mercedes. Didi has a Honda with "Why Hate Me" on the license plate on a Honda. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this is unbelievable. I remember when we were in college, her mom bought her a new car, and she was like, you can get whatever you want on the lot. Didi bought a Trio Tracer. Like, that's the lowest car on the lot. You know, so Jada's her mother's child. She doesn't really require a whole lot of money or whatever. So, yeah, she does buy like little cheap stuff off, whatever, but she ain't her brother. Jalen will buy 50 Louis bags, you know, if you let my man. And again, that's another podcast. See, you can have two children who grew up in the exact same house and have a total different personality, you know, and a total different
Yeah, I wonder
swag.
if it's the nature versus nurture
I bet you at
thing.
21, I buy her one. If she turned 21, she don't ask for one. Just because Jalen got one, I think I'm about to buy her the whole Louis.
She gonna have a franchise.
luggage
She about to have
case.
a Louis franchise.
Yeah, I'm about to buy her a franchise.
Well, I think the interesting dynamic, and I don't know nothing about it, but you know, I guess you're getting to that point where I'm not gonna say money's not an issue, but there's nothing that you can't give them like that they want. Like, it's not like you can say money is a barrier to not letting them do it. So it is, the governor is different, right? Like, flat out, like we not having Louis conversations for, you know, my kids this second. You know what I'm saying? So I don't have to worry about it. But I'm saying, in terms of when you get to a financial position where you can't say no because we can't afford it, right? Like, so probably 10 years ago, you might have been like, okay, Louis, we're not doing that. Like, you might have got one for D and that was it. But you wouldn't have been able to, you know, just cash your kids out with several Louis. Like, y'all was doing well, but y'all wasn't maybe on that level. And so now the governor is different in that you just got to decide whether you give it to them or not based on what you feel like they actually deserve, I guess, or need, as opposed to like, I'm just saying, Jason be like, yo, Dad, all my friends are going to, you know, the Bahamas, and I need, you know, $5,000. Like, you wouldn't be able to say no because we can't afford it. You would have to say no because I don't feel like
good for
you
you,
should
yeah.
go.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So how does that dynamic change as, you know, I guess you balling out of control now. So how does that change the game?
Well, I just think, for real, see, you need to think about, and this is tough, man, because you're talking about being first generation. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, you got parents who would say, why would you do this or why would you do that? Because we couldn't afford to do it. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes, see, people say it's wrong because they can't afford to do it.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? So
That's
you
what
got
I mean.
your
And there's
parents
a
saying,
difference. That's what I'm talking about. Like, it's a difference between not being, and then you could, you know, you really say that because you don't want to make yourself feel bad. Like, oh, I would never buy my kids. It's like, and I might have been guilty of it too. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a natural reaction. Oh, I would never buy my kids a Bentley. But it's like, it's all relative. You stretched yourself to buy your kid a Chevy Aveo. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you gave them the best of what you could afford. You know what I'm saying? You didn't drop them down and just get them the $1,000 beater if you could have afforded it. You got them what you could afford. And so what's the difference between somebody who's paid getting their kid what they can afford?
And don't exclude, so E, real quick, I was going to say, don't exclude the value either. See, I'm just saying, like, they're not buying it. Well, let me just not speak for it. If I were to buy a Bentley, I won't be buying it because it's a Bentley. I'm buying it because of what it is and what it like, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
The value in that, like, it's made a certain way. You know what I'm saying? So, like, don't exclude that part of it either.
Yeah, because you remember, I remember when I was in college seeing cats drive Mercedes Benz. It would be like an older man with a Benz, but it's a Benz car that he bought 10, 12 years ago. You know what I'm saying? And he ain't had to buy another car. You know what I'm saying? And he drove that sucker to, you know, the wheels fell off. But it was a Mercedes and it lasts. But I was just going to say, you got somebody that would look at a Louis. So I told you the first thing he got was a Louis book bag when he was 21. You know what I'm saying? And I felt my wife. He's 21 years old. You know what I'm saying? So it is somebody might look at it like it's a Louis bag. I don't know how much it costs. Let's say a car costs $1,200. I don't know. But you got somebody in a working class car that bought their child an iPhone 7. Mm-hmm. That's a stretch for their income.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's a $700 phone by the time you bought all the accessories. You know what I'm saying? It's a $600-700 phone. You know what I'm saying? So that is a lot of money when you look at your income for what you spent. Whereas if my wife bought a $1,200 bag and you look at the income, it probably is nowhere in comparison, you know what I'm saying, to the income. But what I do try to do, and you know, my wife doesn't fight me, it's a Louis bag that we might, you know, have our little whatever. But like I said, see, it was a birthday gift. It was a graduation gift. You know, so it wasn't just like, you know, in a random week we going shopping, we in the city, he just pick up a bag. This was for, you know, she felt 21 was a big, you know what I'm saying?
Occasion, yeah.
You know, that was a big deal. And she felt like graduation, you know, from college in 4 years was a big deal. But I will show you where we did come to an agreement on when he came down to Atlanta, of course, to be with you guys, get trained, whatever, however long he's going to be down there. He didn't take the Escalade with him. So I never forget, see, and these are, you know what I'm saying,
this is go. 'Cause, you know, it's funny. Yesterday he said.
Let me tell you what he said
No,
to me.
let me tell you my part first, then you tell me your part. Yeah, because I want to hear the back. I didn't get the backstory yet, but he says to me yesterday, I said, so what you going to drive? He was like, I don't know. He was like, well, actually, I was going to ask you, could you call my dad and talk to him about it? Because he only listens to you. He was acting real weird. He was like, I asked him about the truck. And he was like, no, just fly down there. And he was like, Dad, but what am I going to drive? He was like, it'll just be easier for you to fly down there. I said, what'd he say when you asked him about the ride? He was like, nothing. You think you could call him and ask him? I was like, so, okay, yeah. So tell me what was really going on.
So what he said to me was the craziest thing, right? So I don't think he understood that was my Escalade, right? I don't think that was clear.
Well, when you got the new one, I think by default, being his only son, the inheritance line is only right.
Yeah, so what happened
You know what I'm saying?
was, it was like, you know, Jay worked for the basketball team. So of course you got Langford, you got Miles, like these dudes, you know what I'm saying? These are big guys. Of course, you know, Tom is, you know, regular size, whatever Cash is. But Jalen, part of his responsibility as a manager is, you know, you have to, they were freshmen, so you couldn't have a car on campus as a freshman. Yeah, so he transporting these cats. So I'm like, no doubt, you need to Escalade. You know what I'm saying? There's no question to ask. That's a part of your job. Like, I want you to succeed at your job. I want you to have all the tools and the equipment. And this is where, Carl, for me, wealth comes into play. You know, so for me, the Escalade wasn't about Jalen driving around balling. It was about, you got to do what, 6'8", see? Yeah, functionality. You got to do two or three dudes, 6'8", you know what I'm saying? However much they weigh, that car fits 7 people. So he was able to take, you know, a majority of the guys who needed a ride, the freshmen, and take them around. I think maybe one guy didn't have a license, so Jalen's able to take them to class, make sure they get to class, make sure they do whatever. So I'm like, no questions asked. He needs this transportation. You know, so some kind of way I heard him when I was in the car with him once. He was like, Dad, I need to get gas for my car. And I was like, whoa, when did you get a car? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm confused. You know, and I come up in a generation, it might be wrong, forgive me, I don't know, but my parents was on some, you're having your friends over to our house for the weekend. Like, I couldn't stay in my house. You know what I'm saying? It was like, it was known that this is not your house. You not even renting out a room. We letting you keep, you know, have a room. So for me, I was on the same thing. Like, I'm allowing you to borrow this vehicle. So my man says to me a couple of weeks ago, when I guess y'all talked and decided he was coming to the A, he was on some, yo, Dad, how much does it cost to, since I'm flying down there, how much does it cost to ship a car to Atlanta? I said, wow.
Yeah. And he was going to fly and the ride was going to be transported.
Oh,
wow.
no doubt.
It's like if you were to take it, you definitely going to have to drive it, Jay.
Yeah, I'm saying because Carl's car got shipped and my car got shipped to us. I guess
it's
like
a possibility.
Said, see, like, for real, we playing games, but you have to think about how other people view. You know what I'm saying? And so then they picked up the BMW and took the BMW to Denver to get, you know, get the new engine in it. So my mom's car got dropped off. So I guess he's seeing all these cars get dropped off. And so I guess, you know what I'm saying? I guess
classical condition.
It's drop-off ministries. You know what I'm saying? So no, my wife and I decided that, yo, for real, you know, you going to Atlanta, you know, of course, you're paying your own, you got a job, so you're paying your own rent, whatever, so you're going to have to get your own car. Like, this was something that we allowed you to use during college, and now you're out of college, you need to get your own because you're not going to value it the way you value it if you paying for it, if you paying for the gas. It is what it is, bro. So my thing was like, yo, you go to A, you get on the MARTA, you know what I'm saying? You catch an Uber, you walk, you do whatever you got to do, you know, but I just feel like you're starting a new job, you know, you're starting a new life, you know, you're on your own. So I will say my gift to my son was I did what I had to do to create, you know, the speaking industry. You guys came along, took it to a whole nother level. So we created a job for him. So for me, that's my gift when you graduate, see, you got a job. I didn't give him any money. You know, I didn't give him any, you know, like when he graduated, he didn't get no, you know, money from me. It was whatever. It's like, here go a job. So now you have a way to earn money every month. And I'm just going to be real. Y'all might think I'm a monster, but I think 2 weeks before he graduated and then a week he graduated, like my man was on some like, Dad, I've been 4 years, I've been working with the team, traveling all over the world. Like I haven't had an opportunity to, you know, have fun. So he wanted to have fun. He traveled with his guys. And somebody was like, Josh saw his Instagram stories and was like, yo, E, I want to be Jalen or Hudson in the next life. I'm like, I feel you. But this is what I told Jalen. I was like, yo, you not getting paid for those 3 weeks you party. Because if a man don't work, he shouldn't eat. And I know a lot of people look at me like a monster, like, yo, you ain't giving me no graduation money. Well, I gave him an opportunity to earn money, see? And he decided that, yo, I want to party, I want to hang out. And there's nothing wrong with that. I didn't graduate in 4, so I don't know what it's like to graduate and want to enjoy life or
you
whatever.
You didn't party after you graduated
You
after
could
the 12?
celebrate, right? You could celebrate after the 12, E?
Not like that. I had 2 kids.
And a mortgage.
Yeah, and a mortgage, so it wasn't no celebration for me. But I told him, see, I wasn't mad that he celebrated, and I don't know how y'all see it. I wasn't mad that he celebrated, but I was like, C got to get up and go to work. Carl got to get up and go to work. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else on the squad got to get up and go to work. So if you want to party, that's cool, but I can't pay you 3 weeks for partying.
No, trust me, I get it, bro. I'm not tripping. Like I said, you know, I think Jay is, he's gonna be fine. But I think it may be a little bit of, if Didi don't backdoor him a couple stacks just to, you know what I'm saying, get him rolling. It's gonna be, you know what I mean? Which I'm not, which I'm still.
Which I wouldn't know about if she did, and if she did, I can't check her. See, you know what I'm saying? She got that trump card.
Right. Well, she slide $100,000 into his account just as a little safety net. Then we'll know what's up. But no, man, definitely glad to have Jay down here. You know, Candace, you know, he came in, I think he came in thinking he was sweet. And Candace was like, look, I want you over here every Sunday for dinner. I want a full breakdown of how your life is going. Jay was looking like,
Shut it
Lord
down.
have mercy,
Yep.
I should have stayed in Michigan. So
No question. Candace gonna be on that
yeah,
end.
no, that's so he got a mom down here as well. So yeah, good stuff. E, why don't you tell us, man? I saw your Instagram, man. If y'all didn't get a chance to see E's Instagram,
man.
Carl, I don't know if you saw.
Oh, I saw
Man.
it. I definitely did.
Yo, I just, because I haven't even had a chance to ask you. By the way, yeah, this is probably one of the craziest things that could have happened. He was, I guess, can we play, Carl, you think if we play the video, you can hear it, right?
I'll get the audio. I'll get the audio.
Yeah, let's play a little bit of it, and you can kind of hear the interaction, and we'll let E kind of break it down, so.
Hey, what's up? It's your boy E.T. Had a great experience, and
You are the man.
man, I appreciate that, man.
2 seconds. In hospital, 3.5 months. I got nothing here. And I'm now in America, man. Married. I just got a good job. They're flying me out to Orlando.
Wow.
A mate of mine, when I came here, hooked me onto you. Him and Doug, I'll be posting you all over Facebook.
I appreciate
ET.
that, man. I was just doing a basic little video trying to capture something that I did with the kids, and I was at the airport, man. I appreciate you,
And
man.
I'm doing mentoring now,
Wow.
myself at work. And I got no small intestine.
Wow.
They told me I was going to be part of my shit in the bag and not walk.
Wow.
And here I am, man. And I can't believe, is there any way I could take a photo?
Yeah, no problem, man. Not at all. Yeah.
Mark's going to just
Yeah,
freak
no
out.
problem.
All right, E, so what happened there? Like, for those of you who didn't watch the video, go to Instagram and watch the video, but just amazing. Like, I watched it, and I was, like, honestly, like, choked up. I showed Candace this morning, and she was just like, wow, that was, like, the most authentic, incredible encounter, you know, that you could capture just, you know, like that. So what happened?
I don't know. and I'm being real. Like, I don't know what happened. It was crazy because I had gone to the the middle school, Abney Middle School that morning in Grand Rapids, and had the awesome privilege of honoring those kids, what we call MVPs, academically, behavior, whatever, attendance, whatever. And, we did breakfast for them. Then we spent some time with the rest of the kids. Then I went to the baseball game on the Whitecaps with the elementary kids and just had a blast, man. And so I got to the airport in Detroit to head to New York. And I don't know, man. I just was like I was like, all right. I just want the people to follow me through the day. So I'm finally in the airport, finally got a little breather. You know what I'm saying? Like, all right, cool. I'm going to, do a video and just explain, what's going on. And before I could really get into the video, this dude interrupts me. And it was weird because he walked past me.
He was almost past you.
Yeah, he had walked past me, right? And I ain't going to lie, I felt bad, because I was doing the video. And, sometimes when you're on the phone, it seems like you were impersonal, and I wasn't. But I was on the phone, so I wasn't really paying attention. So apparently he tried to get my attention, and he was like, yo, can I get 2 seconds? Because he was like, felt like, he was interrupting me. And I was like, yeah, what's up? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to lie. Like, if it was a basketball, football player or something like that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I would have been like, oh, what's going on? He just threw me off because he didn't look at me like a fan. You're like, oh, that's a fan. You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you go through the airport, you can see somebody looking at you. You know what I'm saying? You can see somebody like,
I don't know, but
basketball team.
You know what I'm saying, Carl?
The theory makes sense.
Oh, yeah, people always, you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, though, real quick, hold the story. Podcast. I was in Macy's the other day, and shout out to the dude. He said he listened to the podcast. Dude and his wife came up to me and was like, yo, CJ, is that you? I started to record it and put it on Instagram, but I couldn't find my phone.
Right. You should do that next time. Yeah, you should do that next time. But I'm saying, I'm being real. I've seen like basketball teams or, lacrosse teams.
Right.
I've seen teams. And it's kind of like, oh, okay, they probably do watch me. Like, it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? But this dude, like I said, I was caught up videoing. And then when he said, I need 2 seconds, and he started to tell his story, I'm not going to lie, man. Like, every time for me, it's like, I never saw us here. Like, I definitely saw us impacting people, going and changing the world, but not necessarily somebody from Australia. You know what I'm saying? So when he started talking about his, how his insides, like, I was like, whoa, this next level. Of course, I thought about Glenn and Naomi because he's from Melbourne, and I was just like blown away. So it happened so fast that even afterwards, it wasn't until I got on the plane that it really hit me, what happened, and I was like, y'all know most of the stuff I don't even put up. But because of how that happened, like, I was recording it because he caught me when I was like, I'm saying he caught me when I was recording.
Let me ask you this real quick. How come you kept? Like, I'm saying, how come you kept? You just couldn't process? Because I'm saying it got so intimate. I thought you would have pulled the phone back or something. But because I'm saying you was in his face.
Like I said, it happened so quick. You know what I'm saying? He was right there. That you know how I am. My deal is, you give somebody your undivided attention. You know what I'm saying? So for me, once he started going, I didn't want to, like, interrupt him by taking the phone, saying, hold on, I was recording, let me stop. That's why I tried to break through and was like, yo, bro, I was just doing whatever. But he didn't stop. You know what I'm saying? He kept going. So it was weird. But I tell you, see, what really hit me is when I was going through when I was reading the comments, and this one young lady was like, yo, E, like, I know you impact the world, but you probably in real time don't. That was probably one of the realest statements I'd ever made. She was like, yeah, I know but in real time you don't get it. And I was like, you're right. As people are walking past you, I'm in New York, people are like, yo, I ain't trying to be disrespectful. Bro, you changed my life. I'm in Five Guys. My man, like, you changed my life. Like, and so she's right. We do know when we take these messages out, it is going to change lives. You just don't know, that it's the teacher next to you. You don't know that it's the firefighter next to you. You don't know you on the plane. It's the engineer next to you. Like, so when she said in real time, I was like, you're right. So You know, it's surreal. Yo, this is stuff that Martin Luther King did. This is the kind of stuff, you know, that Gandhi did. This kind of stuff Mother Teresa did. Like, these are the people that you look up to. You know, this is what Oprah doing for people. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's unbelievable when you actually physically meet people and you see you change their lives. So yeah,
And
man,
then
that's
today,
crazy.
You're in New York to have lunch with Seinfeld. I think,
Yeah.
Jerry Seinfeld. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
tomorrow playing in
It's
Cam
unbelievable.
Newton's celebrity kickball game. Let me ask y'all a question.
Yeah,
How the blank did
unbelievable.
we get here?
Oh, let me teach.
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
Had to
Like,
be Carl in the
I'm
video.
sitting here like, yo, I literally just thought about it. Like, yo, he's in New York to have lunch with Jerry Seinfeld. Of course, we had lunch with his wife, Jessica Seinfeld, about a month or two ago.
About a month ago.
And then, tomorrow you're playing in Cam Newton's celebrity softball game. Of course, you just did some work with Cam, and he's been, a follower and a friend for some time now. But seriously, guys, how I didn't even, and this wasn't even part of what I want to talk about today, but how did we get here? And I guess I can translate the topic. So, okay, so let me try to set this up. Y'all know this is my thing. I like to have bridge the gap here. So I was talking to somebody over the weekend who was listening to the podcast, and they were, Candace had a baby shower here, and they were like, yo, I love the podcast. I listen to the podcast, all of this. You guys are great. For that, however long I'm listening to it, it makes me feel good. I'm excited about it. And then, it lasts for a little while, but, you guys are lucky because you have each other. When you do the podcast, you do all these things, you got each other to iron sharpen iron. But for the majority of us, we hear the podcast and we're on fire, and then we go into a toxic work environment and lose that fire. You guys are lucky because you never have to lose that, that edge or that momentum. It's like, yo, you hang up and you calling E, you calling Carl, you calling C. Like, how do we keep that, motivation that we have, that we feel inspired from the podcast or listening to E's videos and all of these things?
Keep listening to it.
Yeah. I mean, it was a good question
Don't cut
because
it
she
off.
was like, yo, you guys are lucky. You have an environment that's just caters to positivity at all times. Meanwhile, as soon as we get done
I wouldn't
listening to
say
the
luck,
podcast,
yeah.
we go in and got to deal with some, butthead boss. You know what I'm saying? So,
But I'm saying we had to do that too, though, see. So that's why I say be careful with the word luck. This is intentional and deliberate because we had whatever kind of boss you just said. We had those, you know what I'm saying? But we made a decision that we wanted to be here, and we made the sacrifices necessary to get here. So I'm just saying, for those of you, don't act like it cannot happen for you. Don't act like we came to this place, without any resistance or, it was handed to us. We too were in that. I'm talking about, and I don't want to get C started, but I was going to say some names of some folks when you walked into our office, the young man all the way in the back and the young lady when you first walk in.
I
It was
definitely
toxic
wasn't. It
as all
wasn't positive.
toxic could be.
I could definitely, what I'm saying?
None
We can say that.
close. Yup.
E, where'd you go?
Oh, I'm right here. I'm just saying. I was just sitting here thinking about how
I
toxic
always
it
get
was.
yelled at for
He
cutting
playing,
you off.
C
I'm trying to let you
playing.
talk and you stop.
No. I stopped just because I was really thinking about Carl. How sick.
back there.
It wasn't even toxic,
I'm
Carl.
back there.
How sick
Yeah.
it was.
I'm talking about
Yeah, I mean,
sick is
in a
the
couple
word. Yeah,
instances,
yeah,
it was sick.
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? Just flat out. But we got through that and we got here. So I'm just saying to whoever's listening who wants to get out of that, we got out of it. And you heard them saying it before. It wasn't like we was making a lot of money. It wasn't like we was making a lot of decisions. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot of stuff happening to us. And when you say hate, it was some people who were trying to destroy us. Don't minimize it, guys. It was some people who were literally trying to destroy our name. Forget all the other stuff. They were trying to destroy our name, and we got through it and got to where we are. So if you're sitting there saying, yo, for real, I do want to get out of this situation. You could get out of it. And we probably could write a book about how you can get out of it. So don't just say luck, because we're not lucky. We literally looked at each other and said, yo, we ain't going to be going through this forever. This not going to be our life. This will be a chapter in our book, but this won't be our life. So when you see us geeked up, or you see the enthusiasm, or you hear the love, you best believe we went through hell to get to heaven. We didn't wake up in heaven. We had to go through hell to get here. And that's why we're so passionate about this. You know what I'm saying? And we are, you know, when you hear us going at it, like C said, it's brotherly love. It took a lot. It's like with LeBron when they won last year and you saw LeBron in tears and hugging people and whatever, you know, it's because of the hell he went through leaving, coming back, you know, all of the ridicule. Like, yo, we've been through it, y'all. Do not think for one instance life is, you know, as Langston Hughes said, life ain't been no crystal stair for these three brothers right here and the people that work for us and has helped us to get here.
Yeah, and I think one of the key things that you mentioned is because we did go through that when we, you know, decided to do our own thing, we knew the exact environment that we didn't want to create, you know, and so I think that's one of the blessings of working, you know, with ETA is that, yo, we flat out said, this is a few things that we absolutely will not have. And if you got a bad attitude or, you know, you got some bad vibes, it's like, yo, you got to go. And so we built an environment that was conducive to, you know, being positive. And that doesn't mean that, like some of you're only positive when things are going right. And that's not how it works. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think some people, you know, get, you know, if they get a promotion or, you know, things are going well, that's when you're positive. Like, no, we had a positive work environment when we were broke. You know what I'm saying? When there wasn't money coming in, we were building each other up. We were reading, you know, John Maxwell, you know, we were going to the next level, reading Gladwell, Outliers, talking about stuff, laughing, you know, having a good time, keeping those positive vibes going, even when things didn't, you know, the outward manifestation might not have looked as sweet as it could have been. And that's the problem, I think, with most people, guys, is that as long as everything going smooth and everything's great, that's when the positive disposition is like, oh, okay, everybody can get up early. Everybody can be on fire. Everybody can, you know, laugh and joke and keep a positive attitude and work hard. But who can work through the storms and keep their head up? You know what I mean? I think that's the key that we were able to, you know, overcome. It's like, yo, we had some dark days. I tell people all the time, like, yo, I remember I tried to get a job. I don't know if I ever told this story on the podcast. I know I told it before at a conference maybe, but I'm talking about down. My wife had came home, you know, she wanted to go out to eat. We didn't have any money. We were broke. And I was like, shoot, I was embarrassed. I was hurt. So the next Monday, I knew you could go down to the school and get a job like substitute teaching. I think it was like $100 a day. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm about to go in here and substitute teach a couple days, just like for real. If I go in, you know, and work, you know, at lunch, work before I go to, you know, whatever on the ETA stuff, work at lunch, work after school, you know, I'll be all right. And so I did it like 2-3 days. And of course I went in there, you know, did my thing. The other teachers were walking past the class like this was a pretty rough high school. Walking past the class like, what is he doing in there? The principal caught wind, offered me like a full-time position. And E called me, was like, yo, what are you doing? And I was like, I tried to act like I wasn't in the school. Like I was answering the phone when E called me like right in the middle of class. And, you know, E was like, yo, you got to quit. You know, and I remember being like hurt a little bit because I was like, yo, finally got a couple of dollars coming in. I could take my wife out to eat. We got, you know, a few extra dollars around the house. But I remember feeling like, yo, you right. You know, I'm not being faithful over what we have here. And I let the job go or the substitute teaching thing go. And we came back to it. But I wasn't mad at E. It never, you know, spurned our relationship. I had a great attitude. And I think that's what allowed us, you know, the positive spirit through the harder times is what allowed us to get to the better times. You know
I'll go even back before that. See, I think one of the important things that we did do was the line where your focus goes, your energy flows. So we focused on the students at Michigan State University. Seriously, as toxic as, you know, the work environment was, all the stuff that was happening, we got together every single day, and our job was to make sure that we helped these students. So the students were coming in, you know what I'm saying? So I'm saying we were faithful over what we had at the time. The students were coming in every single day. So we couldn't allow the students to come in and let them see us going through it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying, like E always says, it was something bigger than ourselves. So despite, it's like that, you know, that parent, for for real. You're going to take whatever the load it is to make sure your kids are, they're okay. So that's what we did. We took the load, and I promise y'all, we had fun. Like, this is the part that I want people to understand. And see, please don't kill me. I'm going to just say the name so y'all know where I'm going. See, Janae. I ain't going to say nothing else than that. But we had fun. You know what I'm saying? We created some stuff, y'all, that we had
somebody
fun
had
doing
fun.
it.
I don't know if it was me, but somebody
had fun. That's another podcast, y'all. But literally, we did some stuff, y'all. We went and created videos. We had these kids doing skits. Like, we created a whole environment around us that was fun. These students loved it. So despite what was going on behind us, we kept looking at the stuff in front of us and kept working that. And I promise you guys, to this day, that's the stuff that we're still doing. That's the exact same thing we're doing.
And the students didn't know.
They had no idea.
The students
they had
didn't know
no
what
idea.
he was going
Yep,
through.
that's real. So
They had no
you got to
idea.
think about what you're
Yeah.
focusing on.
Yeah.
The job might
Yeah.
be toxic. And see, I'll go even further. Your house might be toxic. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's some people that your house is toxic, but you got to find the one thing that you can put that hope in, that joy in. There's got to be something in your life. I promise you woke up. It's got to be something in your life that you're happy about, you're proud of that, and you got to lock into that. Like I'm talking about the pit bull would lock in. Like, you're not letting that thing go until you die. You know what I'm saying? And you put all your energy, all your focus into that. And I promise y'all, that thing is the thing that's going to, like, deliver you from the stress that you're going through now. I promise, because that's exactly what happened to us.
Now, look, I wanted to say this question for the EBB call on Thursday, but I know everybody's not on it.
Shout out to
Yeah,
Breeze
hey,
University.
y'all get
You
the
should
right.
be on it.
Y'all get the BU sneak right here.
And I know you reserve a lot of that depth, kind of conversation to that call. See, but I want to ask you something as it relates to Carl talking about focus and being focused on. For us, it was those children making that transition, from high school, to the university and getting immersed, in the culture. Because a lot of our babies, of course, had never really been around, that intense academic rigor, even from a social, economic status. Some of our babies hadn't been exposed to that before, So when you think about focus, as I watched some of the comments yesterday, one of the dudes said, "Yo, E, and again, this is his words, it's not mine, guys. Please don't think I'm going here." But he said, "Yo, E, the craziest thing is about this whole video is you the man and you're not trying to be the man." And when I thought about that, see, I really wanted you to talk to our EBB and our game changers, those who are trying to go to the next level, in their speaking, what I'm saying. But what I see sometimes, is people trying to manifest that type of video, as opposed to focusing on, the speaking. See, so I want to ask that question because you're like, okay, E, it happened for you, but it ain't gonna happen for us like that. See, what do you tell somebody who's trying to do that kind of video? Like, what I'm saying? Like, you're trying to capture those type of moments.
Well, I think that's that's why I
be.
started off with, the craziest thing about it was how authentic it was. It wasn't like dude came up to E and started talking and E put a camera in his face and was like, "Hey, check this out. Listen to what my man said real quick." People can see through that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love it, bro. Like, we just don't build our brand like that. Like, do y'all understand? Like, yo, he puts up videos. Yeah, he might put up a video if he's at the Louis store, but he'll put up a video at TJ Maxx too. Like, yo, we're not trying to fake it. Like, we're not trying to show you that we something else. Like, yo, we definitely done flown private, had these other things going on. But like, yo, it's just not something that we, subscribe to in terms of we trying to put on a show for you. Like, we want you to feel how authentic we are. Cause I'm gonna be real. Sometimes, man, even before we got there, I look at people who did that on the reg and it just seems so unreachable. And I think that's what's dope about the podcast, or what we train, our other speakers about, is we want to make it tangible and reachable for you. We built a multi-million-dollar company and we're on the line. You can hear us talking now, just a bunch of regular dudes together with a vision. And I think sometimes when people try to put, the carrot out so far and make it look so crazy. And I think a lot of people do that intentionally to like break your will almost, to make it look impossible. So you on Instagram surfing and everybody's showing the best of the best and they fly private and they got all this money and they doing this and they doing that and da 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 da. When we tell you something, you feel the authenticity of, we're not telling you he's doing lunch with Jerry Seinfeld today because we're trying to brag. We're trying to show you and inspire you to show you where we came from, to now show you what we're doing. We're not telling you he's playing in the celebrity softball game to be like, oh, hey, look at E. We're trying to tell you that to inspire you, because we know we also have shared the bottom floor. And I think that's what's so funny about, a lot of people is they're scared to show what it looked like beforehand, or they're embarrassed, or you know what I mean? It's like, nah, bro, that's what made us who we are. I'm telling you the story about being embarrassed about going and teaching, substitute teaching, and feeling like I'm cheating on E, and Carl because I'm substitute teaching. Like, that's where we came from. We came from getting a check out of a vending machine. We came from, traveling and doing all kind of schools for $600. You know what I'm saying? Like, we came from that. And so I feel like if you show both ends of it, that's cool. But some of you just on there trying to act like you blew up, you've been blown up, you're showing videos and things that of your life now, or maybe even your experiences, or maybe even not your life now, but things that you kind of trying to put on for. And all you're doing is making the common person feel like, yo, this is unattainable. And I think that's the dope thing about, what we do. And, a lot of the feedback I get from the podcast is like, yo, we're a fly on the wall. We get to experience like how you guys built this company, how you guys came together, how the relationship works, the dynamics of it. Like, yo, that's why we sharing stories about our family and, the things we go through and, all of those things that hopefully you take it and feel like, yo, I can get this thing done for myself. And I think that was what made the video so dope, is it wasn't E trying to show you that people like his stuff. He was doing a random video. Like, it's funny. Like, go watch the video. I probably watched it 1,000 times. My man was like, actually, like, they were walking, where like you walking in the airport and somebody like, you got to make a decision. Like, you go this way, I go this way kind of deal. My man like was actually dodging E, and then you could just tell he grabbed E's shoulder and E spun around, like doing the video already. You know what I mean? And just, it was just so authentic. So I'm not sure if I answered your question, E, but.
Yeah, no question. See, and here's the other thing that I want you to address on the EBB call is just the whole timing thing. It's like you can make like GMO or something like, or I'm saying, like somebody takes something and makes it in the lab. You can make something in the lab quick, but when it's not organic, it does not have some of the same nutrients or the same life to it. And I think what people have to understand, and I want you to go, maybe give me 7 points to why this is so important on the call, see. But I think organic does take longer, and you don't control organic, and that's why you'd rather do it the other way. That's why you'd rather take it into the lab and manifest it. But even when you see like, my wife was showing me these ladies who've gotten the eyebrows done, but they were tattoos. Or when you see somebody like tattoo, their hairline, or do, tattoo like their hair, whatever. Like when stuff is fake, when somebody has, fake teeth or whatever, like there's some things that you can create in the lab, but it still doesn't look like the natural, and it still doesn't, it's just not natural. And I know people want to rush stuff and people want to make stuff happen. But I'm just saying that organic does take a long time. But when it's done in that fashion, guys, you get all the blessings, all the nutrients, all the life, and you're able to be a blessing to others. So I just want you guys to be cautious about trying to go in the lab and create your success. Going into the lab, and trying to control your outcomes and just be organic like we've been. And in the long run, it may take longer, but man, it'll last so much longer and it'll be durable. It'll be durable. It'll be fresh. It'll be unique. It'll be innovative. So just be cautious about, yep, I do know that you want to blow up. I get that. You got a calling on your life, or you got a special gift, or you've been meant to be, famous or whatever. But let it happen in the way it's supposed to happen, and in the time frame it's supposed to happen.
Of course, I agree 1,000%. And I think the main problem with most people is, even some of you listening to this podcast, I'm gonna be real, and E, you got to help us out real quick. You're taking all this positivity in, which is great, right? You listening to, obviously you listen to this podcast right now, chances are you probably listen to E and the TGIMs, and you getting this, motivational positive stuff in you, which is great. I love it. But E, talk about the fact that you're not getting the negativity out. So it's almost like, you got an old funky couch and you just spray it with Febreze. Like, it might be like 2 seconds. It might smell like, oh, okay, it smells good now. But I promise you, You come back 20 minutes later, you still gonna smell the funk off that couch. And that's a lot of you. You got so much negativity in that what you're doing is you piling positivity on top of negativity. But that negativity is so strong that just like that couch, that stinky smell eventually comes through whatever goodness you putting on top of it. E. So can you talk about like how to strip that old stuff? Because people are trying to blow up and go to the next level and they don't have that old stuff out. Yeah, you put new stuff in, but you're not taking old stuff out.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing to add to that. See, you said it. The only thing I would say
Well,
is
I just meant like how, because like I know how to put positive. I can put positive people in my life. I can put this in my life. I can put that in my life. But if I went through a nasty divorce that still haunts me, how do I get over that? If I went through, being backstabbed by a business partner and I still got those feelings in, I'm putting new stuff. What's the Bible say? You can't put new wine in old wineskins.
Old wineskin, yep.
I'm saying, and that's it. It's what you just said. So, but I would just say prioritize, because I think there are people who think that I can do this first, and then what happens is, as you start doing all the motivational stuff, because the other stuff is so difficult to handle or you got done in by a business partner. See, that's emotionally challenging. Like that's weight. You got a divorce, an ugly divorce. These are things we do not want to revisit, because the challenge of revisiting it is that we have to feel it all over again. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have the luxury of dealing with it without having to deal with it. And so the motivation feels better. The motivation, is hope. It's, what I'm saying? It's all the positive feelings, the gooey feelings. So what C said is important. What I would just say is like, okay, so maybe put a system together where you do a 3-for-1 or a 2-for-1. And what you don't do is like a 10-for-0. You know what I'm saying? Where you go and do 10 positive things and 0, go back and deal with the negative. So I do understand how challenging it is. So give me I would prefer a 2-to-1 ratio. Okay, and if that's too difficult for you, give me a 3-to-1. But for every 3 positive things you do, go deal with 1 negative. Or for every 2 positive things you do, go deal with 1 negative. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel you, like, you don't want to just deal with negative, negative, negative. But here's a challenge. I did a lot of positive, and didn't want to deal with the pain of my biological father not being in my life. And so I would always say, yo, it ain't that deep. It don't bother me. Whatever. Come on, you're a human being. Of course it bothers you. So what I had to do was say, okay, you travel in the world, you speaking, you doing baptizing people. Okay, you got to deal with that. So I was like, okay, now it's time to go deal with that. So I did a lot of positive stuff, almost was finished with school, at least I was like finished enough where I knew the track, Carl, is what I'm saying. Like, I might have needed 120 credits and I was at like 105 and was like, okay, now I need to go deal with my biological father. I had dealt with some stuff with my mom, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, let's go deal with this big thing, so by the grace of God, yeah, let's do 2-to-1, 3-to-1. Where we deal with 3 positive things. I got back in school. I got a good job. I'm in a healthy relationship. All right, let me go get counseling for this divorce. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not saying like just go deal with all the negative and then by the end of the day you crush because all you dealt with was negative. No, but if I read, a positive book, then I'm going to go and mend a relationship, or at least deal with a relationship. Where I was watching something the other day and the girl was like, her sister slept with her man, she felt like, and I was just like, yo, how did you keep going without dealing with that? Like, 'cause you got to see your sister on the reg, family reunions, different events. Like, how do you live thinking your sister slept with your man? And so it was like she was finally getting counseling for it, so that's what I would suggest, see, at 2-to-1. But if you're not strong enough to do 2-to-1, 3-to-1, and if you're not strong enough for that, at least don't do me no more than 5-to-1. Like, don't do 6, 7 positive things, going to conferences, reading books, listening to audio books, getting in programs like BU. Like, don't do that and not deal with that. And so here's the other thing for me. Write a list of all the negative down. Let's keep an inventory of the things that have really crushed you, the things that you have not want to deal with, and put them up somewhere so at least they don't get away from us. Because some of this stuff can get away from you. I've met people who have had challenges. They've been molested 15, 20 years ago and didn't deal with it. And what you don't realize is that it does still affect you. I've seen females who've been overly aggressive and they don't even know they're aggressive because something happened to them years ago that they never dealt with. So give me an inventory, write that stuff down. You can't get to it all at once. It is some heavy lifting, but get to it when you can, and then share it with a friend, so you don't have to do it alone. And that friend can keep you accountable and say, girl, I remember the ugly divorce. What are you doing about that? Because if you don't deal with the ugly divorce, what you'll be doing is, making good money, dressing nice, traveling the world, you know what I'm saying, and balling out of control to overcompensate for that. And that's not what we want. We saw when Kobe Bryant had come back from that injury, and he didn't deal with it properly and didn't heal properly. He ended up messing up the other leg. You know what I'm saying? So it has to be a balance, between the two. I don't know if I shed light on that, but that would be the formula that I would use.
Yeah, no, 1,000%.
That's good. That's good.
And I think the thing, that I hope everybody understands is, E, myself, Carl, like nobody's, immune to those negative thoughts.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Like if I sat here right now and thought
Absolutely.
about the 3 worst things that ever happened to me in my life, I promise you it would ruin my whole
Absolutely.
day. Like I'm
Absolutely.
just saying, if I sat here, give me 5 minutes to just be like, okay, here go these 3 things. Just think about them, think about them, think about them. Yo, you'll ruin your entire day. And so Carl said it, where your focus goes, your energy flows, and what you feed grows, right? You got to stop feeding that negativity and eventually starve it out. But like, yo, you fix it and then move on from it and don't focus on it. Because some of you, like I said, if you spend half the time, like he just said, spend half the time pouring in positive stuff, listening to the podcast, TGIMs, whatever other source of motivation you got, and then you spend the other half dwelling on the negative, you come out net even. Like you're no better than you were, and to get better, you truly have to.
Or worse.
Right? Yeah, exactly. And to get better, man, you truly have to be putting that
uproot
positive
it.
stuff in. Yeah, it's got to be. Just that straight motivation, man. You can't be, contaminating it with that old stuff. So, thanks for helping out on that. Like shout out to Tanya, who actually was the one during the baby shower who hit me with this topic and was like, yo, this is what, I would love to hear y'all talk about.
Hey, I want to change the subject. I don't remember who said it, but shout out to the dude that told me he loved the podcast. The only challenge that he has with it is like he feel like he in the room with us having a conversation and he can't say, he want to say something, he feel like he can't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, E, I feel like I'm in the room with y'all and then I be wanting to say something and I realize this is a podcast. I can't talk right now. He's like, he wanted to jump in and give his commentary. So I'm
hold
like,
me
shout out to
accountable.
you.
I'm going to create some kind of space, whether it be our blog page or something where we could get a bigger conversation going. Hold me accountable for that.
Yeah, no, we're about to get the website. Carl and I talked about that. But here's the thing. I want to do something different, man. So I've been trying to get y'all to write reviews. And so I asked a few podcast friends, how do you get people to write more reviews? And they said, well, try reading some reviews of the podcast and inspiring
like
other
that.
people to read them.
Yeah.
So
Sounds logical.
Okay. Right. Sounds logical. Sounds like a great idea. Let me try that. And so I went to it and I was reading through a couple and I was like, this is not fun. And it's not funny. So I said, and Ken, if you give me some music ready, give me something like classical music ready. I said, hey, why don't we do the negative comments? That'd be a lot funner and funnier to do the negative comments. You know what I'm saying? So y'all can see that, hey, we still human, baby. So I went through, now it wasn't a lot, but I did find some negative comments and I picked out, the most hurtful, funniest ones because I know you guys can take it. So
you sure?
Not a lot. Yeah.
Are you sure?
Well, I hope so. Well, the majority of the majority of the negative comments were about me. If that helps y'all sleep any better,
We should be good.
you know what I'm saying? If that helps you sleep any better, and the majority of the bad ones were, go figure, right? I'm like, I thought Carl for sure would have had the most hate mail, but some kind of way, I got it. So let's see. Let me read his name. Kunb589 says, love the podcast, but CJ talks over people. Yo, CJ is hella rude and an idiot, and he is always talking over the other guys or going on a yelling rant. Otherwise, great podcast. Let's see. We got, okay, and I put one for each. Actually, I got 2 for me. And somebody else called.
Can we, Carl, say if it's true or false? No, can we?
Right.
So, hey, so here goes one for E. Patrick in Florida said, I love the podcast, but why does E have to say C after every statement? We weren't ready, C. C, we never took a handout, C. People told us we weren't ready, C. We get it, E. You're talking to C.
I love
Victor in New York. Everybody always starts with, this is a really great podcast. Victor, this one's for Carl. Victor in New York said, this is a really great podcast. Actually, it's my favorite podcast right now. The only problem is Carl. Never really sure where he stands. This guy flip-flops more than a fish out of water. Dude, pick a side and roll with it. Other than that, this stuff is ghost.
Hey, I can't argue with those.
Hey,
It is what it is.
This the last one. Ryan in Philly said, love the podcast, but CJ's an idiot. It's like, we get it, dude. You're smart. Now let somebody else talk.
Wow.
Hey, if, yeah.
So write a bad
So now that our self-esteem is murdered,
Wow. Right.
those of
texting
you
my
who
wife.
actually do like us, go write us a review. Yeah, I thought that was more entertaining than reading. Oh, this
Wow.
podcast changed my life. You guys are great. Trust me, we love those too. But wanted to see that. Hey, we're not perfect, baby. We still working on it. Did I really talk over you guys?
I thought. Hey, can we
Hey,
rebuttal?
Carl, is this
No,
stuff?
so what you say? What you say?
I said, hey, Carl, is this stuff really true?
Right.
Hey, I don't know. I can't choose a side.
Right. So look, man, go write us reviews, man. We thank you guys. We are
Yeah, definitely.
man, we struggling to crack that top 10 right now, but I think we did get to 9 last week. Somebody
I
told me
believe I
for
could
a
fly.
minute. You know what I'm saying? But with your reviews and somebody else wrote in that question like, how can we help you guys? Thanks for the podcast. Look, just share it with people, man. The people who you know would enjoy listening to it. Not the people who I read these reviews from, but some people who you know are interested in hearing what we got to say.
And
man,
let me say
because
this real quick, see.
information. Yep.
I'm being real, man, in terms of just sharing it. Like, I was filling out a document yesterday, and they asked, like, what is y'all mission statement? Like, what are you guys trying to do? And I promise you I was trying to write the biggest, fanciest thing. And I just said, like, we just want to help people. We want to show people that if you put your effort forward, that you could get whatever you want. So, like, seriously, y'all, that's what we want y'all to do. Share this so people can understand. Like, see, I mean, we said it the whole podcast. We're not trying to show you something that you can't do. We're trying to show you, read the negative reviews, show you as real as it is, to show you that we are nothing different than you. We just a couple of dudes that put our heads together and decided that we weren't going to stop until we got our goals accomplished. So that's all it comes down to, man. We need your help on that.
Multiple
Yep.
goals. Yeah, multiple. Like he said, business,
Yep, family, everything. Yep.
You know, finances, yeah.
We're just regular dudes. So for the rest of the hate mail, do me a favor, send it to etinspires.com/nobody gives a damn. And we'll be sure to read those on the air. Yeah, no doubt. All right, so let's jump into a more positive segment. Ask ET. Ask ET. We got a new sponsor.
Can I?
Yeah,
hey, see,
please.
No. Tell me who it's sponsored by, then I want to say something.
This podcast is
I'm
sponsored
talking
by
over you now.
Organized.
I hope he's satisfied. I'm talking.
Hey, this podcast is sponsored by, as always, Breathe University. But today's sponsored by Organized by Cam. Are you always on the go? Need a hand getting your life organized and simplified? Then you need to try out Organized by Cam. Cam is an expert at helping you regain control of your household as it pertains to your cleaning, organizing, decluttering of your life. Schedule a free one-on-one consultation with Cam today by calling 517-749-1375. That's 517-749-1375, or go to Facebook and type in Organized by Cam. Did I mention that Cam is my sister-in-law, and the reason I'm endorsing this is because she got Candace and I's whole life straight. We got our basement organized, we got the playroom, everything organized, garage cleaned out, we got all kind of stuff done. So shout out to Cam. As y'all know, she's been working with us for years and is a beast in helping you get structure. She's probably solely responsible for making sure that E gets to where he's supposed to be, man. And so shout out to Cam for grinding and starting out on that entrepreneurial journey. So if you're somebody out there who's like, man, I got kids, I got a husband, I got a wife, I got things that's going on that I need help, I need to get organized, man, she is a beast in helping you get that stuff together, man. She's helped me and my wife tremendously just on keeping schedule and, keeping things on target, getting our house in working order. And, man, she's absolutely a beast at what she does and been working with us for years. So I'm happy to, do that for her and put her information out there. And shout out to her as she goes on her entrepreneurial journey. So give her a shout. Organized by Cam on Facebook. Cam is Kam. If you need some help, getting right. So shout out to my sister-in-law. I love you. Great work. Proud of you. Let's jump into, you got something you wanted to say before we go to Ask ET?
Yeah, just real quick, see, because there's so many people who complain about either a glass ceiling or, life's not fair, or everybody else, gets the breaks. I never get a break, I just want to share something with you guys. Carl just said it in our mission statement. It's really about, it was a key word he used, effort, and I just want to share with you guys, that while life isn't fair, that there are some people who have not been born with certain luxuries or, with certain opportunities. I really believe that at some point life gives you those opportunities. And instead of crying and complaining, you really have to take ownership and make it happen. So real quick, I had a situation that happened to me last Tuesday. Some members of my church and seniors. I'd like to say, Carl, they're probably the oldest members of our church.
Absolutely.
And the husband is at a point in his elderly state that he's at some stage of Parkinson's. I'm not sure. I've not done a lot of research on Parkinson's, so I'm not really sure what stage. But I know it has, crippled him to some extent. And his wife and he were going to his sister's funeral. She was 90 years old. And so, I was fortunate enough, as well as Ashante, to help them get their plane tickets, et cetera. With this technology, a lot of our elders don't necessarily, they're not savvy with, buying tickets or whatever. And so I get a call from them. Actually, he called me when he made it to Orlando. I thought it was weird, but he called me and was like, Pastor, he was kind of frustrated. Pastor, money's no good no more. And I was like, okay, what's going on? He was just explaining to me that, he made it to Orlando, but his wife forgot her credit cards. And he was trying to pay cash for a rental car, and they wouldn't let him pay cash. He'd already had the reservations, the whole nine. And so I was like, put me on the line with Enterprise. We have a corporate account, so I tried to hook him up with our corporate account. She was like, sir, that can happen, but not at the airport. Apparently, the airport has some strenuous rules. And so she was like, we can't do it at the airport, but we can do it at a local branch, which is about 20 minutes from here. I'm like, but they don't have transportation. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not 100% sure, like, how's this going to work? And she was like, not being rude, but kind of like, that's not our problem, And, again, not to be rude, but we have other customers that we need to get to. You know what I'm saying? So you guys are going to have to find another way. And so I sat there. I'm in the car, by the grace of God, with our young guns. So Jalen was in the car, and he's like, yo, Dad, let's just, get an Uber. And I'm like, okay, I'm not trying to be funny, but we're in Michigan there in Orlando. And Jay was like, oh, no, it's not a problem. You know what I'm saying? We can do it. And they're going to call us. And when they call us, we'll explain the situation. So I was like, no problem. So we got them an Uber. They were about in Ocala, I think is how you say it, Florida. So it's about an hour drive from where they were, see. And not, mind you, they're elders. My man's got Parkinson's. So I called Uber, and Uber was like, yo, there are rules. They would have to meet me on the second level or something like that. See, wherever these, what I'm saying? It's like Ubers can't go everywhere. There's a designated spot for them. Well, they were all the way in rental car. And so she was like, okay, I'm not sure how we're going to get back up there, but let me find a wheelchair because we needed a wheelchair to get here. And so Enterprise was like, yo, we don't have wheelchairs. That's like the airline. And now you downstairs, so it's not like you're going to be able to find, what I'm saying? You're not going to be able to get that service. So I'm thinking to myself, like, shoot. So my man calls me. I tell him, second level. So then I'm like, yo, I don't know what to do. So we end up calling back. And my man was like, yo, I can't go down there, And so I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do. So he calls me back and was like, yo, I'm here. Are they there? And I'm like, nope. And I'm like, yo, I don't know how I'm going to get them up there, right? So I'm thinking, hey, he Uber, see, 1 or 2 calls, it's like, it's a wrap. You know, my man like, okay, y'all gonna have to find another way. I'm trying to make this loop. My man says, look, give me a minute. Let me think of something. And so he calls me back 5 minutes later and was like, yo, I'm gonna go pay the park and I'm gonna walk down there and find them. And I'm like, what? Uber. He like, yeah, don't worry about it. I'm gonna walk down there and find them. What's their names? So he said, I told him what their names were. He was like, all right, cool. So my man calls me back. This is the 3rd time he calls me back, asks for the name. As he's asking me for the name, he screams out her name, and she's on the phone like, yo, hold up 1 minute. Somebody's screaming my name. And lo and behold, it's the Uber driver. You know what I'm saying? And he gets a wheelchair, puts my man in a wheelchair, calls me about an hour or so later. She calls me an hour or so later at the hotel saying they got dropped off at the hotel. They good.
Wow.
And so, see, man, I'm sitting here, man, ready to throw. Bro, I'm talking about, see, I'm ready to punch everybody in the face, you know, who tell me about these barriers and these, I'm just like, yo, see, and I'm not going to lie. We try to be transparent. I ain't going to call out no names, but even in my company sometimes, see, and when I say my company, I'm talking about like my work, like not ETA, but some of my stuff. Like sometimes the people that help me, see, I get frustrated because they'll tell me they did what they were supposed to do. And they did, see, but I'm like, see, sometimes the fish sometimes an inch away, see. Sometimes the fish see like, yeah, you got it on the hook, see, but now you need the net and now you need to jump off the boat. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, see, that opportunity is like one move or 2 moves away from just, like for real, there'll be people who will tell me in this company, and I'm ET the hip hop preacher, you know what I believe in. They'll tell me, oh, I call. And they say, I'm like, yo, did you call back though? You know what I'm saying? Did you call back? You know what I'm saying? That you take that 1 or 2 extra steps.
You know what I'm saying? I left a message.
Oh, they get back to me.
I'm saying, I'm for real. See, that's what people on. I left a message. And this dude is an Uber driver. And my man, 3 calls, see, walked from the top level, parked the car, walked downstairs, found them, got the wheelchair. And this is what she told me. They elderly. She told me, I tried to get the wheelchair for my husband, but the problem was I had 2 bags. So there's no way I could push him. And she's elderly. Like, now she in good shape doing the thing. But like she got to put him in the car. He not a small.
A big dude.
What you say, Carl? I'm saying what, 6'1",
no,
6'2"?
more than that. Yeah, I got to say 6'2", 6'3". Yeah, he a big guy.
6'3", about 200 and what, 60 pounds, 200 and some pounds? You know what I'm saying? Ex-military. You know what I'm saying, bro? Veteran. You know what I'm saying? So she trying to carry him around. She not 6'3". You know what I'm saying? My man came down and put them in the wheelchair, grabbed one of the bags, took them to the vehicle, dropped them off. And I'm telling somebody out there, you are 1 extra move, 2 extra moves away. You look at, they said it was double dribble, but you look at the move with Steph Curry, you know, and LeBron. LeBron way bigger than my man, so he can't like physically oppose LeBron.
Double dribble.
But that a couple extra dribbles and then a spin move, and boom, he took my man to the hole. And didn't get blocked like he did last year. And so I'm just saying, you 1 or 2 more dribbles, a spin move away from being financially successful, from having a better marriage. Wow. Well, I did this for my wife. I did this for my husband. Yeah, you did. But that 1 extra move can take you from being average to good, or that 1 extra move from that extra phone call from good to great. So shout out to the Uber driver, man. And shout out to those people out there, man, who go the extra mile, you know, who make that 1 extra call, who put that extra meal with the cars that she sent us. Shout out to people who don't do what's required of them, but who do more than what's required of them. And those are the people who are going to be rewarded and go to the next level. And those people who just do enough, those are going to be the people who are always crying. There's no opportunities. There's a glass ceiling. Don't nobody like me. They always picking everybody over me. Yeah, because you never want to go that extra mile.
Ouch. So I just felt a couple people in their car just going, ouch. No, thanks for that, man. Let's jump into Ask E.T. Casey in the UK said, E.T., what country have you yet to go to that you would like to visit?
South Africa. Africa in general, man. Yeah, that's where I'm ready to go next.
Okay. Ivan in Buffalo says, CJ, what is the most important part when building a brand Ivan, solicit emotion. Great brands solicit emotion, right? You think about Nike, Starbucks, like those type of brands that we look up to and love. Those are like the brands that give us a feeling. Like it's something about holding that Starbucks cup. It's something about putting on, the Nike gear. Like you might not even be fast, you might not be athletic, but you put on like some brand new Nike stuff, or some of the what does E wear, the sleeve, and the little Nike apparel. Something about it, although there are no magic powers in it, it solicits an emotion. When you look at it, you get a feeling when you see that swoosh. And so when you're building your brand, always remember what emotion are you trying to solicit? Like when you look at our brand, you look at the logo with E with the arms up, right? We're just trying to solicit an emotion, victory, overcoming, all of those things. So when you think about your brand, make sure you solicit emotion. Somebody says, CJ, how could you say LeBron was better than Jordan with 3 rings?
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Oh, Lord.
Go back.
That's a different
you missed a
podcast.
piece of it last week.
Well, go back and listen. I did not say he was better than Jordan. I said if he managed to win this championship,
that is what
I
you
would
said.
say he was the GOAT. Now, that was a big if, because now they down 0-2. They might be down 0-3 by the time y'all hear this. We're recording this on Wednesday, so they play tonight. We'll see. I'm still not giving up on LeBron.
No, you can't. I've always said, see, sensationalists, man, get on my last nerve. Maybe they just got to make money on all these little sports channels.
Sure.
Bro, it's killing me, bro. I'm like, come on. They've secured home court advantage at
Nothing's
best.
happened. Yeah,
You
they
know
did
what
what
I'm
they were
saying?
supposed to do. Nothing has happened yet.
Right, I'm just saying they secured home court advantage. That's all they did. And I'm upset that Durant is the best player in the world, bruh. I would love for Durant to be the best player in the world.
Who said that foolishness?
That was Paul Pierce.
Oh, yeah, no.
Well, he the best or the best player to date, whatever. I would love for that to be true. And people say, you a KD fan? No, but I love to spread the wealth. I'm not one of those guys that like to see Alabama win the national title every year or see Michael Jordan win 6. I'm not that kind of player. I like to mix it up. Unless
it's Serena. I was going to say our Serena.
Or Serena. I wouldn't mind that. But no, but jokingly, KD, whatever. The reality is they not back at home yet. And we did a big podcast. Oh, no, that was an EBB call. I'm sorry. Where our guy from the Raiders talked about, the difference in playing away, how you at a different hotel, you eat different, the crowd, the energy. So, this is far from over. Did they win 2 impressive ones? Absolutely. But they were here last year. And I know people saying this person got hurt and Bogart, whatever his name was, the center got hurt. And Day got kicked out, of course, all of that. But we know that it was they were up 3-1, and somehow they came back, Cleveland came back and won. So it can happen again. So cut it out with all of this, this person's the best after 2 games, whatever. So yeah, I hope it's a good game though. See, I'm not interested in a sweep. I'm not interested in 4-1, because for me, after this is over, it's baseball.
For the rest of the year.
It's just baseball for the rest. No other sports, nothing else.
Oh,
so
man.
I want to see this thing drag out, man. I love sports, and I want something to watch.
Well, you don't like baseball? What's the problem with baseball? America's
I
sport.
like baseball.
America's game.
I like baseball, but if depending on who's playing, it could be like 1-0. You know what I'm saying? So, baseball is better played than watched sometimes.
It's like watching paint dry. Unbelievable. And shout out to the baseball players. They a beast at what they do, but goodness gracious, you talk about going to the ballpark and being bored out your mind. I'm like, Lord have mercy, I need some more action. But, shout out to the baseball players. We got a lot of baseball players that follow us. We love y'all and support y'all. It's just tough to watch sometimes. I said the best, I shouldn't say that, but the best time was when Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa was getting them joints. I'm talking about hitting them joints out the city.
Park.
Unfortunately, it was a synthetic substance that was being used to help them do it.
Was it organic?
No, it was not organic. I promise you, that was in a lab somewhere, grown. And so shout out to that, and shout out to all of you guys for listening and rocking with us on the podcast. As always, man, join us at breatheuniversity.com. Just amazing things going on there. We got had a special guest, actually Sean, who was on the podcast, was on the other night on Breathe University on the call, and we probably spent 40 minutes talking about water.
About
and I
water.
promise you, it was the most riveting 40 minutes of your
man.
life, man. Just
Riveting.
listening to Sean talk about water and what
Hey,
kind
and
of water
I'll-
you need. And
I'll go on record saying, see, that I've made some adjustments since that call.
I made a bunch of adjustments.
Yeah, I made some adjustments, real adjustments.
Oh, for sure, 100%, man. He gave us some very valuable information, guys. We always have brand new guests on there, just bringing the fire, bringing the heat, bringing that information, guys. Where else could you be connected to over 3,500 people who listen to ET, who embody the work ethic, the spirit, just the everything of ET that are all in one place, man. The network is insane. I don't want to say any names, but somebody who works in BU just got hired to go work for somebody else who works in BU and is actually moving like a state away, like a couple states away. So just a phenomenal network, if nothing else, man, of positive people who got each other's backs, man. If you want to stay in that positive mindset, join us at breatheuniversity.com, a small investment for a big change in your life. Real quick, we got Houston, July 9th.
Yes, sir.
Right.
Stay
H-Town,
ready.
We're coming to Houston. Stay ready. You do not want to miss that. That's July 9th. We'll be in the building. Somebody call the Breakfast Club and let them know. We'll be in the building on the 8th probably. Smash and goodness gracious, I can't wait to get there. Also, Phenomenal Cruise. You guys know March 2018. Most of you have heard us talk about it. We're going on a cruise, man. It's going to be insane. I've never been on a cruise, but I'm looking forward to it. Just 7 days, man, of just fun, just hanging out, chilling, actually doing some workshops, deep diving in some stuff, man. We're going to grow and have an amazing time. So we'd love to have you guys join us at phenomenalcruise.com. Also, E, we have the...
Hey, before you move, see, tell my man E, that's how he get in the conversation with us. We're doing it live on the cruise. That's how you talk to us. You make sure you're on the
100%.
cruise with us, and
no
we're
doubt.
having a live podcast right there.
Yeah, we'll do the podcast live, man. And like I said, we'll take some extra time and make sure we answer questions and just do the whole nine. So you guys definitely want to be there. Listen, it's March of 2018. I know it seems like it's a long ways away, but you want to get signed up as soon as possible. Go to phenomenalcruise.com. Also, somebody asked about the affirmations. E, when are we already got it done. Carl, did it go up? Or
Not yet.
Okay.
I missed it this week because we recorded one last week. I was going to put it, what day did we say, Tuesday?
I think we're going to put it up on Tuesday. So can we put it up this coming Tuesday?
Yeah, on Tuesday, yeah.
So thanks for holding us accountable on that. E already got the first one done. I heard it. It's dope. So like I said, guys, for those of you who are loyal listeners, man, we just wanted to do something, on another day of the week that could pump you up, inspire you again, just give you that extra boost that you need. So on Tuesdays, E's going to be doing, I think this one is like 4 minutes. They may be anywhere from, 90 seconds to 5 minutes of an affirmation, a story of some kind, but just something to get you going on your day. So it'll be on the podcast channel. Don't be alarmed. We didn't switch the podcast format. It's not a 4-minute podcast now, just an extra supplement to go with what we're doing. So look out for that on Tuesday. Anything else I'm missing, Carl?
The TGIM, we mentioned that one. TGI Married, August 5th.
Yes, August 5th.
Miami, Florida. Yeah.
Oh,
definitely
man,
want to
wait.
be there. Yeah.
Yep, August 5th, Miami, the marriage conference. Make sure you're there. Get down there if you, if that's what you need in your life. We are going in, man. Just been phenomenal. Our live events just been crazy, guys. They have been so much fun, and we're looking forward to them, man. Shout out to everybody out there for the reviews. You guys, keep us rocking, man. You guys are doing an awesome job showing us love with the reviews and the ratings. Continue to do that. E, go on and get us out of here on the nugget of the day so we can get some work done.
Hey, real quick, y'all. For real, you just one move away, guys. Listen to me. For real, one move away. A lot of you are looking at your life right now. You're so caught up on how far you are behind. I remember last year, Cleveland, Golden State, Lou said, look, guys, let's just win this one. Let's not worry about the game after this or the game after this. Let's just win this one and go home. Let's just win this one and go home. So to all you guys out there who feel like, man, my marriage, look, you just one conversation away from getting it back on track. You're one act away. You're one act of kindness away. You're one decision away in your business, from going to that next level. One idea away. Like for real, just one. You're one hug away. One dinner date away. One class away. One test away. You know what I'm saying? You just one away. So do me a huge favor. Don't look at the scoreboard and like, yo, we down by 7 or nope. Let's concentrate on the next at bat. Let's concentrate on the next possession. Like, look, let's win this day. Let's win the day. Let's win the possession. You feel me? Like, let's win this conversation. Let's walk away from this conversation knowing that we won. All right? So let's survive. Let's win another day. Let's survive. Win another day knowing that this could be the day that turns the rest of your life around. This could be the day, right, that takes you to a whole other level. Like, this is the day. So we're going to win this moment. We're going to win this conversation. We're going to win this possession. We're going to win this day. And we're going to make the rest of our lives the best of our lives. So it's your boy E.T. saying, don't be overwhelmed by the scoreboard. Don't be overwhelmed by the circumstance or the situation. Don't be overwhelmed. Let's win this one, and then we'll get to the next one when it's time to get to the next one. If it was easy, everybody would do it. It's not going to be easy, but I know what you got inside of you. You got that beast mode. You got that lion. You're not a gazelle. You are a lion. All right? So remember, everybody want to be a beast until it's time to do what real beasts do. This is your moment to demonstrate you are a beast. So don't back down. Attack. And I'll see you when I see you.
Appreciate that nugget of the day. Appreciate you guys for listening. We love you. We'll see you next week.
I want you to focus on here right now. Don't you worry about when you get home. You concentrate on this opportunity. You don't worry about tomorrow. You concentrate on this opportunity with all your might, with all your soul, with all your heart.
Today's show is brought to you by PayPal. PayPal is offering listeners to this podcast the opportunity to jumpstart your business with PayPal Working Capital. There's no credit check required. You can pay one affordable fixed fee, and you can automatically repay with a percentage of your sales. Visit paypal.com/success to take advantage of this opportunity. Additional terms and conditions apply to the 550 promotion. Please visit paypal.com. Again, paypal.com/success for more information. Today's show is also brought to you by Organifi, the best tasting green blend on the market. They're cold processed, guys, to retain all of the nutrients. And if you're looking to fill all the nutritional gaps and buffer out that new stress that your body has to deal with on a daily basis, check out Organifi.com. That's ORGANIFI.com, and use the promo code SUCCESS to save 20% on your order. And now to today's show.
I wake up every single day. I am who I say I am. And I get what I get because I live in beast mode. Stop being gazelles. You're not average. You're not even good. You were born to be great.
What's going on, world? Welcome to another edition of the Secret to Success podcast. I'm your host, CJ. Joined as always by the Bayesian sensation, Mr. Carl Phillips.
What it do? What it do?
And Dr. Thomas himself, Mr. Eric Douglas. What's going down?
Man, I'm just so excited to be back up first thing in the morning. Like I was, you know what I'm saying, trying to be nice with y'all the whole 12 o'clock in the afternoon type deal. But,
well, if you can't hear it in my throat, it is about 2 o'clock in the morning.
I love it.
And I just got a 3-year-old. Yo, I don't know what it is. I promise you, like, Trey, like, so he in his own bed now for a while, but then, some kind of way, and I'm talking about my man like a ninja. I don't never hear him come in, which kind of scares me. I'm like, yo, see, you can't be sleeping that hard. My man, I'm talking about, I wake up, my man is like got his feet in my mouth. I'm like, bruh, what are you doing? And he don't want to cuddle with his mom at all. Like, he would literally like, and I see her every now and then, she'll be like, oh Lord, he killing CJ, let me try to grab him. And he would like fight her in the middle of the night, like, no, I want my dad. Like, he don't want to do nothing but sleep with me. So I just got a 3-year-old feet out my mouth about 30 seconds before we hit record. And so I'm here. But that does bring me to my am I tripping or, and it is child related. And you can maybe bring a different perspective. Maybe it gets better later in life, Carl, but I'm sure you feel me. Am I tripping or are kids the most ungrateful little thing that you've ever seen in your life? Now, let me break this down. We go back to Michigan, take Trey, and Avery. They on a plane. Trey done been on about at least 2,000 flights by now. We fly him there. This little joker eating cookies and apple juice on the way there. He goes with his grandparents. He has the time of his life. They at the zoo. They riding bikes. They doing all kind of fun stuff. They come back. We get on the plane coming back. We let him have some more cookies, apple juice. He living the life. Gets back home. He's like, Daddy, want to ride my bike? We ride the bike. Come back in. He asked me, Dad, I want some more juice. I said, well, son, you've had enough juice today. We don't even do juice like that. So no, you can't do juice. So he doesn't start crying. He's at a different age now where you don't just bust out crying. He goes and sits on the couch. I'm at the kitchen table. About 5 minutes later, I hear him say, Daddy. I was like, I forgot all about it. I was like, yeah. He said, Daddy, sometimes you're a mean daddy. I was like, what? I was like, look, I will choke the light. What are you talking about? He was like, well, sometimes you're a mean daddy. I said, why you say that? He said, because I asked for juice and you didn't give it to me. And I was like, yo, I wanted to, you know what I'm saying? I found myself about to run down a whole list of things I had done for this boy over the course of his life. Like, how dare you call me a mean daddy? And but I let it go. But I just wanted to know, am I tripping or y'all kids ungrateful too?
Nah, I'm talking about the most ungrateful critters that ever crossed planet Earth. And from the looks of it, it looked like that's just the way it is. Like, seriously.
I don't know. I'm hoping you can, shed some light on this, and then, I got a fair five for y'all too going along the same line.
Let me say this real quick before you go, E. Like, we got back from Barbados and Jordan. I'm talking about Jordan got in the house. I was like, yo, Daddy, can we go to the Hilton in Michigan? I was like, saying what? Like, you just spent a doggone like 2 weeks in
First
Barbados.
of all, I'm mad he know there's a Hilton in Michigan.
Right. Well, man, 2 weeks at the beach, the whole, like you said, the whole flight to whatever.
No doubt.
I'm talking about, we let them, I'm like, Tamisha, let's just kind of lay it off. We chill, we in Barbados, let them just have fun. Like, they're watching TV, they're at the beach all day. They're eating fries all day, bro. Like, just get some more fries. So I'm like, just let it go. We get back. My man was like, yo, I like the Hilton in Barbados. Is there one in Michigan? Let's do that. So, yeah, E, give us something.
No, I'm just saying, I can't, you know what I'm saying, and C and I will probably debate like the mattress on this one, but it was a different era, man. Like, y'all kids, is this a different, even though it seems like it's only a couple years or, apart, but it's a different, I promise you, era. I was 25 when I had my first one. I don't even know if we had juice. We lived in a 1-bedroom apartment. I don't even know if we had juice to give Jalen at that time. You know what I'm saying? And then back in the...
Here come the ET tales of how poor they were.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just being real.
Like the old grandfather that had to walk 80 miles to school one way. Like, every year get a couple more miles.
Yeah, I'm just being real. Me and Jalen came home to a 1-bedroom, literally roach infested house. We ain't had no money at 25. Didi was 24. She had just finished college. You know what I'm saying? We ain't had no jobs at that time. So our kids didn't really start.
No lights, no working water.
Yeah, I'm just being real, bro. I mean, just imagine when you was 24 years old. Like, y'all in your 30s with kids. I was 24. You know what I'm saying? When I had Bug. I had just turned 25. Didi had just turned 24. He was born, late July. Her birthday is in August. You know what I'm saying? So she was literally 23 and she had him, you know what I'm saying? Then she was 24. So we ain't had no bread, bro. So a lot of the challenges that y'all dealing with, the Hilton Hotel, you know what I'm saying, stuff like that.
Oh,
my kids didn't get that kind of stuff. And then, we came from the generation where we couldn't really talk to our parents, like we couldn't reason with our parents, and I know y'all remember that, you know what I'm saying? So Jalen and them came up where it wasn't a lot of, you know what I'm saying, like asking questions or being able to say we mean. He probably felt we was mean, but he didn't necessarily express it. But I will say this, I don't know that they get any more, well, I should say it depends on who the child is. Jada is definitely a lot more, appreciative than perhaps her brother is. But Jalen is old enough to know that he needs to be manipulative. You know what I'm saying? Y'all kids are young. They don't really have that swag yet. Jalen knows that he got to send some roses home. He got to, maybe send a card, send a nice text, have a good conversation with his mom, and then ask for something. So I don't know that it necessarily changes, but they do get a little smarter, and they're not as cute as Trey and Jordan right now. So you don't necessarily have the patience when they're 22 years old and their breath stink that you did when they were 3 years old. So yeah,
right.
Yeah.
That's that. Yeah, fair argument. And I'm teasing E about being broke, even though I do feel like it might be a little sauce on it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all had a couple dollars. You had a couple dollars.
I ain't had no money at 23 or 24, and that's why I say, hey, you and Carl, just go back. Because I know y'all know me, like y'all been knowing me for so long, you don't know me in that, light, so it's probably kind of hard. But when I tell Carl, go back when you was 23, Carl, how much money did you have when you was 23 years old?
Me and my brother was using coins to order pizza.
Oh, come on. So that's what that's what me and Diddy
I
was
had
doing.
a job. I was broke at 23. I had a job. I had a couple dollars now. You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it real. I wasn't broke. Plus, I was smart and went to school 15 minutes away from my folks. So if it ever got too struggle-platish, I could just run right to the crib, grab me a meal, wash my clothes, and I was good to go.
Yeah, that was
so I
smart,
was
my
like
friend.
poverty, but like middle-class poverty, if you see what I'm saying. But you know what, E, I actually want to talk to the people because I think we talked about it a little bit the other day, and you talked about doing things in the right order and how it makes you mad when people don't do things in the right order. And the example you gave, which I thought was critical for real, is, you said, when Didi and I were on food stamps, I can remember the day she got her job. She drove down to the, the financial support office or wherever you get the food stamps from. And she told them, look, here, take these food stamps back. Cut our food, gave back the food stamps that y'all had. Like y'all could have, at least spent that out.
I wanted
and then waited
one.
and then waited to the next month. And you said, nope, D took it down there and was like, yo, we done with this. We don't need it. Thank you very much. We appreciate the support. We are good now. And you were talking about how in business, and not necessarily food stamps, we're not talking about that, but you talked about how people are always trying to cut corners and be shady and manipulative, and how that can't work on the long end, and how you feel like most of your success in business and the success that we've had in business, which is obviously increased over the years, as we heard from back when you used to eat a bowl of beans every day. With
cornbread though, see, I did have cornbread. I'm not gonna lie, we did have cornbread.
Hot water,
over the stove,
Okay. So and you talked about Didi doing that, and I was like, wow, like for real, that's deep. I had to check myself, Carl, because I'm like, man, I probably would have spent out the rest of them and just been like, okay, cool, we doubled up this month. But talk to us about like the integrity behind business in which we operate, and how you see people cut corners and how it ends up not working for them.
So let me say this, and we're not talking about manipulative people. You know what I'm saying? We're not talking about people trying to get over. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to be clear today, because this podcast, of course, I don't think there are a lot of people, who fit that description listening to us. I'm talking about good people now. And I'm talking about people who are trying to get to that next level and really feel that they need to cut corners to get to that next level. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I want to be clear that that's the demographic that I'm addressing. Good people, right? Real good people, right? But they don't understand that, and again, I hate to go here because, scientific people gonna call me, people got a strong background in science gonna call me and be like, E, you wrong, all right? So y'all just help, you just gotta help my little science brain. But, I always talk about that there are laws, and what happens, and the thing I love about, the law of gravity and these kind of laws is that on a basic level, I'm sure in NASA or whatever, you could do some stuff to manipulate it. But on a real basic level, bruh, what goes up must come down. Like you jump on the roof and come down, like you're gonna hurt yourself. I say it all the time. And so those laws can't be manipulated. And what I find sometimes with humans think, because they have a desire or a need, that they can manipulate things so that they can, change the outcomes, right? And it is what it is, bro. Like it's 120 credits to graduate. We talked about this before. There was a time when people were buying, like for instance, Facebook or Instagram, whatever. People were buying followers, right? And so what you're doing is you're being manipulative, and you're not doing it because you're a bad person, or you're not doing it because you're trying to create this evil. Like really what you're trying to do is get that edge. And let me say this, please help me flush this through, see, because sometimes I'm not the greatest communicator, but there's certain things, see, you can't let people do for you or buy for you, and I hope I'm making sense. There are certain things you have to buy for yourself. You know what I'm saying? There's certain things you have to earn for yourself. There's certain things you can get as a gift. There are other things, bruh, you just gotta earn it. You know what I'm saying? So let me just, okay. And I don't want to say anything specific because people could be like, well, somebody could buy that for you. But you understand the concept, see, that there are certain things that Eric Thomas has to do for Didi. There's certain things that Eric Thomas has to do for Jalen and Jay. Okay, I can give you an example. All right, because this is not like money. And again, this is in general, but I felt like I needed to take my son to school on the first day of school. And I'm being real basic because I don't want to say something that people can take and misconstrue, but I need to be there to take Jalen to school on that first day of school. I need to be there to take Jada to school on that first day of school. That when Jada wins her academic awards, it's great for her grandparents to be there. It's great for, the pastor of the church to be there. It's great for, her teacher, from back in the day to be there. But see, I need to be there for her graduation. Like I need to be there when she wins that academic award. Like I just believe that there's certain things in life that people can't give you. And I say this and then I'll open up back up to you guys. Like you've seen lions, that maybe are in a safari and you got people feeding them versus lions who are in the Serengeti and they out hunting. Like they different lions, see? Like even though they have the same physical structure, with the naked eye, they look alike. But that lion who's been fed beast and that lion that went out and hunted and got that and killed that beast, like went and like literally hunted for that beast, went through the whole strategy of, knowing like, where to kind of like chill out and wait for him to come, did the whole like sitting still and waiting for the beast, chasing it, hawking it down, killing it with his own bare hands, like eating it, taking something back to his family. Like that is a different beast. And so they're just, when you start giving people certain things, you take away that dog, you take away that fight. You know what I'm saying? You take away their creativity. You take away the ability for them to be able to, be creative, if you will. And so Didi taught me, like, yeah, we could keep getting these food stamps, but we got to go out and hunt our food now. We have the tools now. I'm a registered nurse. I'm able to attract certain opportunities. I'm able to be an ATM, if you will, see. Let's just call it what it is. Once I picked up this skill of speaking, like I'm an ATM now. I have the ability to go out and create money. And sometimes when people give you stuff, you got to sit there and wait for them. You know what I'm saying? You're on their time. You know what I'm saying? You're at their leisure. But when you got the tools, bro, and you can go out and hunt on your own, I just feel like Didi taught me. Like it's at this point, now that we have the tools, that it's up to us to go out and get it and not wait for people, to give, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think I don't even, and I agree with you. And I'm thinking about, our own situation, of course. But I guess I'm talking about let's talk a little bit about the ethical side of it too. You know what I mean? Because like, you hear for real, you hear people say all the time, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, right? Like you got Brady and them with the deflated footballs. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's your take on stuff like that? Like, and I really just want to know from you because you are probably the most ethical person I know. But like, it's not necessarily like cheating is like a strong word for that. Like, you deflated a couple footballs or, you cut a couple corners or you bought a couple followers to make it look a certain way. Like, it's not necessarily like the most egregious act you can, think of. And I understand what you're saying about, the handouts and things of that nature. I want to know from an ethical side, because we talk, we see people all the time, like, they say they're going to do something and then they don't deliver, right? And so, or they say they were going to bring you X amount of food and they were going to provide X amount of service, and then when you get there, they end up cutting corners. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's not necessarily like you said, they're not bad people. It's just, oh, if I use a little less of this and a little less of this, I could save a couple of dollars, and they end up doing you wrong. But like, speak to that side of it. Like, but and like I said, some people will say like, yo, if you ain't cheating, if you ain't cutting corners, like my man next to you cutting corners. It's kind of like the MLB when the steroid era happened, right? It's like everybody on steroids. So if the pitchers on steroids, they're going the batters. It's like you could try to be Mr. Up and Up if you want to, but at the end of the day, you about to get beaten. You're going to be out the league. You're not going to make any money. Or you could do what everybody else is doing and catch up. Like, what are your feelings on that?
So for me, see, again, like you said, I feel like ethics, to some extent, it's individual choice. You know what I'm saying? But let me just show people how I see it. You got short ball, you got the long ball. The way I see it, is that you can't do some things to get the advantage immediately, and if people like, Pete Rose, Sammy Sosa, what I'm saying, Mark McGwire, and I would even say the New England Patriots, while they've had a measure of success, I don't know in the long run, if they are going to be looked at as Jackie Robinson. You know what I'm saying? Like Jackie Robinson gone, he's not even physically playing the game anymore. But everybody wearing the number 42. Every year, all the teams wear 42. So if you're the type of person where you like, yo, I'm just really on success right now. Like I'm really not on my character. I'm not really on legacy. I'm not really on how people, gonna see me. I'm trying to eat 100%. But that's not what I wanted to teach you guys. What I wanted to teach you guys was, storms are gonna come. So if you build your house on sand, when that storm comes, there's a greater chance, that house is gonna come down. And when you looked at like New Orleans with the issue with the levee, like it was stuff that we knew. They built the city on shortcuts. You know what I'm saying? They built the city, without, ethics really, like saying like, yo, let's think about 100 years from now, 200 years from now. Let's think about 300 years from now. Let's think about, how the way we're building this structure will impact people. And they didn't think that all the way through, or they thought it through and just thought like, yo, whatever, like, storm may come, it may not come. And we see what happened. When that storm came, like it devastated, like forever, New Orleans will be devastated. So I'm just saying,
but how do you make that? Okay, so then I feel you, but how do you make how do you differentiate between, okay, like let's take a guy from the MLB who literally would have been out of a job. Like I'm feeling what you're saying, you want some legendary stuff, but literally if I don't take these performance enhancing drugs, I probably won't be able to keep up, which means I'll be out the league and not making money, my family not, eating, and I'm out the league and ain't no legacy anyway. So how do you differentiate between,
I don't believe that. I believe that.
I'm just saying, they might have felt like I'm not going to necessarily be a Hall of Famer without this. I might not even be an All-Star or in the league without this.
But that's a mindset. And what you have to understand, is when you give 120% the right way, you will always have a job. I'm just being 100, bro. Like now, if what you're saying is like you giving 70%, you're not getting up early, you're not putting in the grind, you're not putting in the work, then you might be right. You might be out of a job. But here's the deal, eventually the dude on that stuff, he out of a job too. Like A-Rod was like, for real, A-Rod.
Yeah, after a couple $100 million though.
Yeah, you're right, but I'm saying, but we got to be truthful. Even they are the anomaly. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like everybody who was on the enhancement.
No. I'm talking about the dude who might have been maybe on it that was like, one of the last men on the roster. I ain't even talking about A-Rod and Mark McGwire and them. I'm talking about my man who was just feeding his family. Yeah, got a contract and was feeding his family trying to get that competitive edge. Because just like it was Mark McGwire and them who needed it to hit 70-some home runs, there was somebody who needed it just to make the team.
Yeah, absolutely.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and so for that person, it's like, yo, I feel what you're saying, get 120, but the deck is stacked against me. And I think a lot of people, even in business and entrepreneurship, you come in here and it's a dog-eat-dog world. Like for real, I don't know why I just thought like on the street level, things happened a certain way. And then when you come to business, there's these ethical principles and standards. But one of the things I've learned in entrepreneurship and just dealing with folks, like I've seen some folks who I thought were straight up and down, just real people. I'm talking about cut people and do dirty, sideways stuff. And we don't even let them play with us like that. So we'll shut it down immediately. But I've just seen like some snaky, sharky people. And it seems like everybody's doing it. And then you trying to build your business on these ethical principles and standards like we are. And honestly, it has cost us quite a bit of money. Like for those of y'all listening, we could have done so many things that probably would have had us with 10 times the money right now we have in our account, but we chose not to do it. And what I'm trying to get through to people today is I really want you to explain how to go about doing that and how to not seek that immediate gratification and trust the process that in the long run things can work out for you, because right now it seems like a viable option. And I'm not talking about taking chances and putting your family in jail. No. I'm just talking about those tiny corners you can cut to get that advantage and maybe have to do a couple people sideways to get where you're going. I'm not talking about Bernie Madoff and what I'm saying, like any crazy thing like that, but just not necessarily doing everything by the book and by the standards in which you set for yourself and believe in.
Yeah, and again, I can't answer that, but I can just tell you, as for me and my house, at the end of the day, see, I'm really about what I say I'm about. You know what I'm saying? And it's not money. It's really, I'm about the people, bro. Like I really feel like I've been gifted. We've been gifted. We've been blessed with an opportunity. And I literally just want to help people get to that next level. So for me, it is. I look at it like this, Carl. I never forget, Les Brown told this story about a gentleman who was what do you call it? Like not just a builder, a contractor, but like a master builder. And his CEO of that particular company was like, look, bro, I need you to do me a huge favor. Like, I'm gonna need you to build this crib for me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it was for him or if he said it was for one of their top clients, but he's like, yo, I'm gonna need you to knock this out for me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna need you to do it almost like, a favor, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Like, I give you a little something for it, but we're not about to make a whole lot of money off of this. This is just something we're gonna do, as a charity thing or whatever. And they said, my man, he did his thing. Like, he's a master, construction dude. Like, carpenter. Like, he did his thing. But he cut a lot of corners, see? And I guess it took him maybe about 8 months to a year to do the house. And so when he finished the house, he went to the CEO and was like, yo, I'm done, gave him the keys. CEO came to the crib. Like I said, it was subpar. Like it was it was structural. It had no structural damage, but most of the equipment was inferior. He cut some corners on some stuff, and my man threw him the keys. The CEO threw the master carpenter the keys, and he was like, yo, why you throwing me the keys? He was like, yo, it's your crib. And he was stuck. See, like what? He was like, yeah, that's your crib. He was like, what you mean is my crib? He said, no, I gave you an opportunity to build your house. And he was like, build my house. You told me you told me. He's like, not really. That's not really what I told you. You know what I'm saying? You ain't really listened to me, but that's your house. And my man was hurt because he was like, yo, had I known it was my crib, I would have used, you know what I'm saying? I would have used this, I would have used that.
Yeah, that's what Didio is on you about when you make her sandwich. She said, how can you make it like you make yours?
Oh, Didi, no. Y'all don't know what he's talking about. So literally, I would make Didi an egg sandwich at night. Like I would make her an egg and whatever kind of sandwich, egg, bacon, whatever it was, I'd make her. And Didi would be like, yo, that don't taste like it tastes when you making it for yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, what does that mean? She like, I'm just trying to tell you, like, it don't taste the same. So what she would say to me was, yo, go make me a sandwich like you making it for yourself. And so, see, it's so complex to answer your question, but the illustration of that story, see, is like, yo, I try when I'm dealing with people, see, I try to act like I'm doing it for myself or I'm doing it for my brother. So when I'm doing it for you, see, I try like, yo, that's my brother. I try to, when I'm doing something for Carl, like, yo, that's my blood brother. How would I treat my blood brother? You know what I'm saying? And so when I'm dealing with people, it's not, yo, we could get over on these people. You know what I'm saying? Like we could do it wrong. No, you got guys who, like, you look at different companies who have like these deals. See, they came up with the deal after another company, outshine them. Or they did. No, we said in the beginning, like, yo, you ain't got to deal with no contract. You come in, you don't like it, like take, like whatever, go. Like, I'm not tripping. Get your money back, And so I guess that's the difference for me. See, I'm playing long ball in that I'm thinking about the next 20 years and 30 years. Like the people we deal with today, our children are going to have to deal with them tomorrow. And our grandchildren might have to deal with them, a couple generations from now. And so I just want to make sure that the bed we making, see, is one that you can lay in and feel comfortable, and not people see me on the street level and it's like, because it's so funny, people will see me by myself. Like, where's your entourage? And I'm saying, like, yo, I'm not trying to be funny. I don't need no bodyguard. I'm not doing nobody shady. Like, I'm not in no shady business. I'm not doing dirt. I'm doing right by people. So when people see me, ain't nobody trying to shoot me. They trying to hug me. You know what I'm saying? They're trying to have a conversation with me. They're trying to share their dreams. So real hard to answer. But my thing is, if you build your house on sand, eventually, maybe it looked just as sweet in the beginning. Maybe it looked better. But when that rain come, when that storm come and it hit it, bro, I said again, we still wearing number 42 and not the Dodgers. Every team in the MLB is wearing that number, bro. And yes, you might put up 60-some home runs in a season, 40-some home run, whatever. But if you do it the wrong way, see, eventually it's gonna come crashing down anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna jump in there, see. So the hurdle with doing it the short way is that at some point it reveals itself.
Yeah.
At some point it reveals itself. So because he used the house analogy, this is last night. Tamisha and I got the kids to bed by like 9:30, so we actually had a minute to talk last night. And she just remembered, like, so I think I shared this with you, E, but see, well, you know, Tamisha's dad came up and did like a whole bunch of stuff on our house. Like, he does contracting. The front of our house, the material that they made it, and this is just common sense. You do any kind of geography or anything like that, you know, the direction that the sun rises and all that affects moisture levels. So the materials
I love having Carl on the line. See,
I never knew that. Kind of stuff. I'm like, whoa. Apparently I don't have none. I'm sitting there like, what? I never thought about the direction the sun was right when I told him to build my crib. Put my back door on the front, please.
Right. Thank you, Carl. I'm sorry for interrupting you.
You're good. So no, the way our house is, the front doesn't get sun until like late evening at the side of the sun. So again, we in Michigan. The materials they built, like the entire
so it ain't that much sun to begin with.
Well, right, yeah, off the cuff. The materials they built the house, the front of the house with, it's like all wood, and a lot of it doesn't seem to be treated wood. So you just got flat out wood up there, and after time, the house probably like 7-8 years, I don't know how old now, but after time, this stuff just erodes, literally erodes. So Tamisha's dad came, and when he was like, yo, I'll fix all of it, don't even worry about it. But he started pulling stuff off. And hit, like, you could see on his face, he came out, he's like, yo, I don't know how to explain this to y'all, but if y'all had waited through this next winter, he did it what was it? It was this year or last year? I don't remember. Yeah, but he's like, if y'all waited one more year, like your top floor, the erosion is like right at the edge of that top floor right now. And one more year, like your whole top floor would have started eroding in. So you don't know what's happening, but you walking inside and that sucker could have just busted down. And I'm just like, you got to be kidding me. Somebody built the house, and it looks fine, see?
Right.
It looks fine.
It looks fine.
He went up there, see, and he took a screwdriver and literally just poked the screwdriver. Not stab or nothing, just like pushed the screwdriver. That sucker went straight through the material. So I'm saying for 7 years, it lasted. Absolutely. It looked good. You know what I'm saying? You hit the home runs for 7 years. But at some point, your body is going to tell someone you, at some point, it's going to show up. And I don't know if you got a real strong backup plan when that starts to happen, if you see what I'm saying. Like,
yeah, but here goes the thing. You got to look at it from the builder perspective. My man, like, look, I built it. I got paid. I'm out. I used a little cheaper material. I cut a couple corners. I got the check and I'm gone. And guess what? When it's time to fix it, that ain't on him. That's on you.
Hey, but listen to this, though. Where is he going to go build next? If anybody asks for reviews, he in a world of trouble, because I'm not the only person that complained for this. I've heard other neighbors talk about it.
And he gone, Carl. And just to, you know what I'm saying, see, there are people who get away with it. See, you're absolutely right. That's why I said, yo, that's a part that I can't answer.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because look, so what happens, and I'm like I said, devil's advocate, that's my job on this podcast. So you got my man who was doing the building, who maybe was building them a little cheaper and maybe selling them, you know, whatever, a little cheaper than somebody else who was using all the, you know, great materials or whatever. But had he stepped his materials up, may not have been able to compete in that market and may have had to stop building 7 years ago, let alone if he out of business today. He might have made 7 years worth of loot and been, you know, built up a nest egg. And hey, it wasn't the greatest, but I did what I could. Like what, like.
Yeah, and I can't answer that, see. And I'm saying, I can't answer that because I don't live in that world. Like, that's not my philosophy. And to Carl's point, that guy is no longer building buildings in our subdivision. That guy is out of business. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't look
That's
at
what
it
you
as
think. He building other careers now. He like bump
He
y'all
in Virginia
subdivision.
right
He down
now.
here in Atlanta. He down here in Atlanta building them right now.
and I'm saying, and that's why I'm saying I can't answer that, because there are people in life, see, who only want it, who are willing to risk success and have it for a couple weeks. But when you created the podcast, the mixtape, remember on the album I said, it's not, for me, it's not about getting it. It's about keeping it. It's not about getting married, see? It's about staying married. It's not about having kids. It's about having a great relationship with my kids. It's not about having ETA. We've been doing TGIM almost 10 years and running. Like, it's not about getting it for us. It's about keeping it. So I can't speak to the dude who's comfortable, who has a different philosophy, and he's comfortable with only 3 years of success or 5 years of success. I can't speak to him. I'm speaking to the people who want to run the numbers. See, they want to create a dynasty and not a tainted dynasty. They want to be able to create a dynasty and give and pass that on from generation to generation.
See, I'm gonna
Yeah,
say
no,
if
I
my
got you.
man's plan is to do it for 5 years and then go and start a golfing career, then absolutely, it might work out for him. But if you plan, like he's saying, if you plan to keep building for a long haul, at some point, this gonna follow you around. At
You
some
want to give it to your
point,
kids. You want to give it to your kids. Yeah.
At some point, somebody gonna say something that like it's gonna follow you around. At some point, it's gonna come back to you. Like you can't just walk away from that. It's gotta follow you.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I definitely feel you. I'm just trying to.
Oh, no
you know,
questions
I
asked.
wanna,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to
And
see
I'm
it from the
stuck,
other
see?
side.
And I'm stuck. Like I'm.
Because I'm saying, I'm gonna be honest. Most people, that's what most people do. And just to go back to how we started this, most people gonna finish out that month on the food stamps and take
no
advantage
doubt.
of the system
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
there's a loophole there that allows for it, right? They like already got the food stamps. So again, it's not necessarily illegal to spend the rest of
Absolutely.
those.
Absolutely.
Should I turn them in? Probably so. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, you're trying to find a loophole. Like for real, I can remember back in the day, like, yo, it used to be people like, yo, we go to the zoo, your son just turned 3 on Friday.
Oh, no doubt.
They like 3 and under. I mean, two and under is free. You like, oh, my man, 2 still, right? Like I'm saying, it's not necessarily illegal. It's a little white lie, but I didn't have to pay that $20 for my man. You know what I'm saying? And so there are people who live life that way. You know what I'm saying? Like instead of being like, yo, okay, cool. Like I'm gonna be real. Every time I go to self-checkout, I'm tempted. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got the organic joints. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at the price between the organic avocados and the regular, and when I put them on the scale, it gives me a choice every time, organic or regular. And I'm like, I should just hit y'all with the regular just because I got to ring these out myself. So that's my surcharge for, checking out myself.
Right.
But I always hit organic anyway and pay the extra. Okay, so I look, I hate that I got to act like I'm the only human being on this podcast. Carl and E perfect. The devil don't never tempt them. They good. They got all the morals in the world. Ain't nobody nobody else ever thought of
organic
ringing up your avocados as bananas. You know what I'm saying?
I can come up with some other stuff that I've done, and we will mention that. But I never even thought of that. I'm like, unbelievable.
Bro, I'm talking about I was there yesterday, bro. And I put it up on the screen, and it was, it like search by name. So I put in A-V, like to go to avocado, and then boom, it came up. And there was 4 different options from highest to lowest. And I sat there and I had the highest quality avocados you can get. And I promise you, I wanted to put in, this is a potato, Idaho potato.
Hey, here's the sad part though. I'm gonna think about that the next time I go to the thing. But hey, see, I wanted to say this though, and this is of course, much higher level of thinking. But I can say that I believe what Didi did, you reap what you sow. So for me, I feel like with Didi saying that, she really put us in a position where we have, from that day forward, and stuff happens, and so we can't, so we got to be cautious of, how I say what I'm about to say. But Didi put us in a mind state of we're not relying on anybody else from this day forward. Doesn't mean we can't get help, but our go-to is not going to be to have somebody else look out for us. And it changed everything. See, like it changed my, for real. I was, can I say settled, bruh? Like I knew we had a check, and I told you, And okay, so good. This is for C, and we're not perfect because remember, you're in your 30s.
Finally.
Are we about to get a confession out of ET?
No. All I'm saying is what C fails to recognize is that when he hits his 40s, almost 50s, he gonna be a different person. So let's go back in my 30s, C, so we can compare apples to apples, because we compare apples to oranges right now. I'm
no
almost
pun
50
intended.
years old. Avocados to bananas, right? So in my 30s, right? So what Diddy's thing was though was, somebody else could use this money, but for me, I'm thinking like, yo, this is a guaranteed rent, because I wasn't using it, at that time for food. It was food stamps, but they would give us a check. And the check happened to be for the exact amount of my rent. And what I didn't realize, by taking the money and not having Diddy mindset, remember what I told you, that was Diddy that took it back. I never said I took it back. That was Diddy. I never said one moment I ever thought about giving them their money back. I'm gonna let that sucker run out. We're gonna let that sucker run out till they
This is
call
a
us.
blessing.
Yeah, right.
Who am I to deny the state's blessing to me?
No, and I prayed about it, so I knew it was a blessing, right? but what Diddy did for me that I didn't realize was, as long as that 285 was coming to pay that rent, I was chilling. I had a safety net, And that's why I'm saying sometimes you just got to do it on your own. You can't let people do certain things for you, because it does take away that initiative sometimes. It does take away that bite. And I believe it is the initiative, it is that bite that separates us, I think we all born with certain gifts. I think we're all born with at least one talent. I think we all have opportunities. Some of us just have a greater bite than others. Some of us we're hungry. Like, I'm being real. I look at some entertainers, or like Michael Jordan, and I think with Michael Jordan, this is probably unfair. This is probably why I always say Michael Jordan is better than most basketball players that ever played. And I guess we talk stats, but I got to be real. Sometimes I don't think I'm being fair when I talk about Michael Jordan, because I'm not comparing stats to stats. I'm not comparing years to years. Now that I sit here and really think about it, I always say MJ is better, and it's not the 6 rings. It's that dog. It's that dog that I'm really talking about. And I'm really not talking about how many NBA finals he's won, or MVPs, or, scoring titles. Like, now that I think about it, I'm really saying Michael Jordan is that best dog that ever played the game, is the most, the hungriest person I've ever seen in my life to win a championship and not be settled, to win 6 in a row and to have this insatiable desire to win another one. You know what I'm saying? And so I think what Diddy was saying to me is like, yo, you losing that dog. Like, you sitting on the couch, you playing video games. Like, in your mind, you feel like our rent is paid, so you good. And when that was taken away from me, it made me fight in a way that I had never fought before. And so I guess I'm saying, when you cut corners, you have to be careful, because when you cut corners and you're building yourself up in one area with that juice, with those steroids, you killing something else though that's in you, that if you relied on that, maybe that could take you to the next level. I don't know. I can't say for certain, but I just want to say we need to be cautious, man, because when you lose that dog, when you lose that fight, when people give you certain things and you have that spirit of entitlement and you're not getting up and going after it, it could be dangerous, because I think it's that dog that gets us certain things, and not just our skill set, not just our talent, not just our ability. When that dog kick in, I feel like it takes you to a whole nother level.
Of all the funny things that E has told us about his past, Carl, I think the hardest one for me to wrap my mind around is E sitting around playing video games.
Video games, yeah, no doubt.
I just, every time you say that, I try to visualize it, and I just can't even see like you playing video games. Like, that's a hilarious thing to picture. But
it's still was speaking there, right? E, or not yet?
Yeah,
I
was
still
speaking. Yeah, I was speaking, of course, because I started when I was 19, 20, but it was a different speaking. Hey, it was a safari. I'm waiting for the whatever you call my man, the keeper of the safari. I'm waiting for my man to throw me in that meat, and he was bringing it. You know what I'm saying? I was getting it every month, and I was waiting for my man to eat that joint. And Diddy was like, we about to go to the Serengeti, and we about to go get our own food. And I'm like, okay, I guess that's
out on here and get it on your own.
Yeah, I guess that's the way.
Wow.
Well, look, man, if you looking to not cut corners, man, and do it the right way, go with PayPal, man. Let me tell you something. PayPal. Again, I do it every time, don't I?
I love it.
Hey, I do that smooth.
Yeah,
butter,
that way.
Butter.
Load on the track like a segue. This segment is brought to you by PayPal. PayPal now has a special $550K offer for our listeners, right? PayPal understands that running a business is complex and time-consuming, and it requires a lot of upfront capital, which is why PayPal Working Capital is offering you the opportunity to boost your cash flow. All right, so boost it with a $5,000 business loan from PayPal Working Capital for a limited time. Accept $50,000 in payments with PayPal and get pre-selected for a $5,000 business loan with no credit check or personal guaranteed required. All you have to do is follow these basic steps, all right? Sign up for PayPal business account and start accepting payments within 60 days. Process at least $50,000 in payments and apply for PayPal Working Capital within 240 days. If approved, your funds will be deposited into your PayPal account automatically. For additional terms and conditions to apply for the $550K promotion, please visit paypal.com/success for more information. That's paypal.com/success for more information. And shout out to PayPal for being a loyal sponsor of the podcast. We appreciate you guys. I want to take this just in another direction, because as we're talking, it reminds me, and I don't remember, Carl, you have to help me. I think it was a sermon. Maybe you preached last week. But here's the thing. Having good morals and values and all of those things in and of itself is also not going to make you a millionaire and not going to take you to that next level in business. And I remember you were preaching. You were like, you had this moment where you were like, God, I'm doing everything right. I'm tithing. I'm getting up. I'm worshiping. I'm reading my Bible. I'm being a good father and a good husband, and I'm not having this success. And you talked about how that in itself is not going to guarantee you success either. So talk to the people out there that feel like, man, I'm a good person, I'm listening to the podcast. I'm going to school, or I'm in business. I got my wife, I'm doing right. You know what I'm saying? I'm living my life right, and I'm still not having that success. And they feel like, man, how is it that I'm doing all of this right and I'm still not blowing up?
Yeah, I liken it to, a dude who's bench pressing. You know what I'm saying? You bench pressing, you doing pull-up. Okay, let's just go with bench pressing. You doing push-ups. And Carl, you going in the mirror every day like, what's wrong with my abs?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like you eating, you doing a protein shake, bro. I'm talking about, bro, you doing push-ups.
See, I had that moment this morning. I put my t-shirt on and that sucker was so loose I felt my arm like, yo, what? I swore I just did some push-ups and it ain't nothing happening.
But you've been praying though. You know what I'm saying? You have been praying. You have been going to church. But I'm saying, just in a nutshell, to make it real simple, you if you're doing push-ups, you're going to see your triceps, maybe biceps, your chest muscles. You will see those muscles, increase, and you'll see, some results depending on, the technique or whatever, how you do what you do. But you're not going to really see what what you would get if you did squats, or you're not going to see abs. Why? Because you're not concentrating on that area. And I think that's what I was doing wrong. I was concentrating on the spiritual, and God was saying, you reaping what you sow. Like, look who you brought in your life. You got C in your life from being moral. It's a moral dude. You got Carl in your life. It's a moral dude. You got dudes willing to work for you, and you ain't even like physically, like they not getting a paycheck per se. So how are you able to pull it off? Because you moral, bro. These dudes know they could trust you. And so you're getting what you get when you're trustworthy. You're getting what you get when you say you're going to do something. Okay, real quick, guys, because I forgot the last 6 podcasts to talk about this. But I was me and Didi, when we were in Clearwater for our anniversary and her birthday celebration. I got up early in the morning and went to, remember I told you guys I went to the ER. I thought something was wrong with me when my girl told me it was just a man cold.
The man cold.
Right, the man cold. but what was so funny, guys, is I didn't take any money with me. And I told the dude, the valet dude at 3 a.m, like, yo, what time you get off work? He was like 7. I was like, I'm gonna bring you a tip when I come back. But you know how it is. See, when you say it, you mean it with all your heart, all your
no
mind,
doubt.
all your soul. You mean it. Like, bro, I got you, right? So I was, the ER, bro, it was 3 of us in there, bro. Why does it take 3 hours for 3 people? Like, I'm not really sure what's going on, but it took almost 3 hours.
You
So
got to
of
check
course,
that insurance and make sure it's
Oh,
valid.
for
E. That
sure
takes
they
time.
trying to check that.
Yeah, they got to check
Carl,
that.
I never thought about that. That's what they checking, that insurance. So I get back to the hotel, and y'all know the drill. I see my man, he take the car. I go up to the room. You know what's on my mind? Like, yo, bro, that was 3 hours ago when I told my man I was gonna give him a tip. In my mind, see, I'm like, bro, I promise you I don't feel like walking back down. I was on the 8th floor. I don't feel like walking back downstairs and giving my man no tip. Long story short, I went back downstairs and I gave him a tip. I say that to say I attracted you guys because I do what I say I'm going to do. So you guys trust me, you know what I'm saying? But that has nothing to do with business. And I'm gonna have Carl give you guys an example because I want Carl to tell us, let's just say, Carl, I don't know how our Instagram blew up. Like, what were some of the things that when you looked at the analytics, like what were some of the things that they said that we needed to do? And this is why I want you guys to hear it, because praying would help me in my spiritual life. Fasting was helping me in my spiritual life. Reading Who Moved My Cheese helped me with my mindset. The 5 love languages helped me with my marriage. That has absolutely nothing to do with taking the podcast or taking our Instagram or taking our Twitter page to the next level. So let's talk explicit knowledge now, Carl, because the knowledge for marriage don't spill over to business.
Yeah.
So let's talk about what we did specifically to take maybe our social media to the next level.
Yeah, so I'm just saying the first thing you got to do, you got to be attractive. That's the word, the key word that I use. People need to be drawn to your content first of all. It's not just, so the main thing that we stayed away from was selling. A lot of people come on, the first thing you see is like, hey, you love this lifestyle, don't you? You see me with the pool or whatever. We wanted nothing close to that. So we wanted to make sure that when you came to our stuff that you got great content, but you felt like somebody cared for you. Okay, so that's cool. That's the moral part that we established. But then there's simple things that you got to do. You got to make sure you get people coming back. So you want to put content out there that, okay, like part 1, you know what I'm saying? Part 2, like there's just tangible stuff you got to do. You got to, you blanket in social media, but there are different strategies for each one. You don't do the same thing on Twitter that you do on Instagram. There are different platforms. You don't do the same thing on Facebook. There are different demographics. You got to study the demographics of each platform to know, who's on the platform, who's, what age group, what professions are more likely to be on this, what gender is more likely to be on this platform. So Instagram is largely female. I don't know if people know that. So hence a lot of the imagery, that you see on Instagram. So it's a whole different ball game how you approach it than just like he's saying, just being moral and being good and having great ideas and sharing.
Absolutely.
It's a whole strategy behind it.
Yeah, and so I just go back to say then, see, that that I had this thought process that if I prayed, if I went to church, if I did right by my wife, if I did right by my children, and it was like, that has nothing to do with it, son. 3 o'clock in the morning, I heard him say, like, you need to read books about a business. You guys need to go to professional development, corporate training. We just had 2 bro, this has never happened in my life as a CEO. We had 2 trainers. We had Chris come in on Friday, and then on Monday, we had another Chris.
Another Chris. Yeah.
Another Chris.
It's the weekend of Chris.
You know what I'm saying? So one Chris came in on Friday and really did an assessment of the group. Like, we read great, good to great. So who is on our team? What seats are available on the bus? Who should be on the bus? Again, what seat should they be sitting in on the bus? Who should be driving the bus? How fast should the bus be going? What's the specific direction of the bus? So that was just people. And then when we met with the other Chris on Monday, that wasn't anything about any personnel, who does this, who does that. The one we did on Monday was all about the company. Like, where's the holes and the gaps in the company? And what do we do to fix that? So guys, I just realized, like, yo, E, you could pray as much as you want, and you're probably going to be a very moral person. You could take care of Didi all you want to, and you're probably going to be seen as a great husband by her. But to make money, there's an explicit knowledge that you need to make money. And that's what I realized, see, that you can't, while they touch each other, they don't always spill over to each other.
Got it. Yeah, no, and I guess, and I'm not even on. Just give the people an encouraging word though, because I feel what y'all saying, but I'm talking about the people who have the skill, right? They're doing the right things, in their mind, but they're still getting lapped by, that person that's cutting corners. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about you just praying and you ain't doing nothing, like you don't know your line of business. I'm talking about you praying and you feel like you're doing the right thing, you still not winning.
Well, okay, then you need to look at us, and you need to look at us and say, yo, I remember when ET them first came out, and I remember, the stuff that they were doing, and some of the other maybe people that were out when they were out. Because let's be real, see, I'm not gonna call no names, but there were motivational speakers, or there were individuals who were what you might want to call social media sensations when we came out with the guru story that you don't hear about today. And there's some that are out now that it might appear that these people, are running circles on us, but you see we doing it the right way, and you keep every year. It was so funny, somebody hit me with, yo, E, I just heard you on and then I heard you on and E, was that you on the Wingstop commercial? Like, E, with that, I'm getting so many texts from that commercial. It's unreal. But what we're showing people is, number one, we're not trying to keep up with the Joneses. We're trying to keep up with us. So if the one thing you know about CJ, C is the only one that may be going out and looking at our competitors and seeing what some of the good things that they're doing, some of the things that, maybe we don't want to mimic that may be good that they're doing, but we don't want to mimic. But what C has taught us as a company, that ain't y'all job. I don't want y'all out here studying. Like, C might go to their conference, or C might, read some of their material, but he got us focused on, hey, y'all do those videos. Hey, y'all, you make sure you do the Tuesday Power Up. E, make sure, you mic'd up. Like, we not on that. And so what we've been taught is like, yo, I'm driving the bus. Y'all don't worry about that. Y'all worry about when you sitting on the bus doing what y'all supposed to do. So we laser focused on us. We're not watching nobody else. We're not concerned about what other people are doing. We are mastering our lane, knocking our lane out the box, and we're doing it the right way. And our numbers keep growing, our fan base, our family keeps growing, our opportunities keep getting deeper. So I would just say to that person, if you're doing the right thing and you don't see the results that you want, it's only a matter of time. Yeah. And Carl, man, let me tell you something. I think CJ, I don't know if you said it or my biological father said it, but when I moved into my neighborhood, it was just me and one other house. Somebody came to my house and was like, yo, y'all done built up not only this block and that block, now y'all got a whole nother subdivision in your subdivision. So just give it time, keep laying the bricks, keep doing what's right, and you're gonna wake up one day and you're gonna be further than you thought.
Can you speak to this? Because here's the thing, and I'm just being real. This is just facts, like, from my observation, right? And E and Carl, y'all can speak to this. One of the things that, from my spiritual folks and my folks who are doing it the right way, one of my frustrations is when we go around these dudes who are maybe, a bit unscrupulous, who, have, defects in their character and stuff like that. One thing I could say about them, if I can give them a compliment right now, they go hard in the paint with their shadiness, right? They go hard. I'm talking about these dudes grind. Like, they not playing no games. Like, every day they wake up like, how can we get over on people? And they putting out systems. They got doggone analytics. They got everything. And for us, those of us who try to do it like in this, real moral manner and stuff like that, sometimes I feel like that, like, people think that equates to being soft, E, where it's like, you kind of just, you passive about it. It's like, no, we found that balance. You have to tell the people that we found that balance between doing it morally and still going hard and getting everything that, we would have for us, the Lord would have for us. We went hard for that. Like, we still go hard for that. Like, we wake up every day and grind towards that. And I feel like some of my people on, this side of the ball, we kind of ho-hum about it. But like, yo, you still got to get up and go after it with everything you got. You still got to get every penny that's owed to you, right? We're not saying because you spiritual, you can't, make money, whatever. But I feel like sometimes, you know, that part of it kind of makes people
See.
soft, E. And I think you
See.
more than, and I'm not going to take any credit for it. E is obviously our leader and the one who got us on that mentality. But we go hard in the paint, bro. And we're not about to let you because you shady. You're not about to outwork us. You're not about to outgrind us, outthink us, nothing. So while you thinking of how to get over on people, we thinking just as hard how we can be a blessing to people. Can you speak on that real quick before we get off of this?
And this is what I meant earlier when I said I do apologize that I don't always, you know what I'm saying, communicate like the lowest common denominator. But that's what Didi said. Didi said to me, why do you think when we pray and we ask God for a blessing, why do you think that means we gotta wait? Why do you think that means we gotta wait on another source to bless us? Why do you think that means that we gotta be on food stamps? Didi was like, yo, we needed it for a minute. But she was like, yo, I want you to shift your thinking. What I want you to see is that the blessing that God has for us, a part of that blessing is going after it and getting it. And so if you get up early, if we do what we're supposed to do, if we're in school and we take care of our school business. Look, the thing I respect about Didi, when everybody else did what the teachers told them to do, the professors told them to do, you know, they graduated, got their degree. Didi was one of the only ones that passed her bar on the first time. Why? Because Didi said, okay, they did their part, but now I'm going to go to the other university and I'm going to study the NCLEX with them. So what this school helped us to get our degree. Didi went and studied with the other big university and paid C to take the course. Everybody else is like, well, we're gonna take the test anyway. Why we gotta pay to take the test? Like we've already been in school. Didi was like, I'm going to pay and I'm gonna take this test for, I don't know, maybe I'm exaggerating. Maybe it wasn't 6 months. Maybe it was 6 weeks, 3 months. I don't remember. I just know she passed on the first time. And what Didi taught me in the flesh was sometimes when you spiritual, you get this, I'm waiting on G. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's a weight thing and I can't explain it. But it
Jesus
almost
coming home
up,
on Tuesday, so I
you
ain't
know
got to go to class.
No, I'm being for real. See, like if he coming back anyway, what difference do you know what I'm saying? Like, why grind? He coming back next week. He coming back in 6 months. You know what I'm saying? So it don't even make sense to start this degree. Or you go get the degree, but you don't do it with the vigor. Like you don't do it with the tenacity of somebody that feel like he ain't never coming. You know what I'm saying? Like he ain't never coming. And so I'm saying you got to strike that balance. But I've learned, like, yo, E, it doesn't, when you spiritual, when you a good person, you're trying to be moral, it does not mean wait on stuff. It doesn't mean, you know what I'm saying, that you sit back and you wait on a blessing. It means you go out and you know as a lion when you go out, there's some gazelles somewhere. And you know if you go walk 3 or 4 miles, you're going to meet the gazelles. And y'all heard this story before, but I never forget when Bob told me, Bob came over to the crib, my car was broke down. I was in a very, a dark place. Like C said, I had been doing the right thing and hadn't really seen it. I was working at the Olive Garden, kind of tired of kind of doing that a little bit. And I'll never forget, Bob was like, what you doing? I'm like, yo, Bob, my car broke down. He's like, I thought you had to be to work at 12. I was like, I do. He's like, yo, bruh, it's 11 o'clock. Like, what you doing? And I'm like, yo, B, I ain't got no transportation. I'm gonna have to call in, whatever. He was like, yo, walk. I was like, yo, B, bro, I can't walk all the way there. He said, who said you had to walk all the way there? But you think you're gonna get a ride from in here? You think somebody gonna give you a ride from your living room, bruh? Ain't nobody come knock on the door and say, yo, E, you want to ride to work? He was like, yo, put on your uniform, put on your shoes and go walk. I promise you, God is my witness, bro, on everything I love. I start walking up, I think it's Jordan Lane. I start walking up Jordan Lane. There's a Stanley O's and there's a church across the street. As soon as I got to the top of the hill, bro, somebody pulled over like, yo, E, what up? I'm like, what up? They're like, where you going? I'm like, yo, I need a ride to work. They're like, I got you. And so I'm just saying what C is saying, if you out there and you feel like stuff ain't happening, like don't make that make you quit. Go harder. 3 o'clock in the morning. We doing videos in the morning, in the afternoon, at night. We doing conferences. We doing podcasts. We doing commercials. We doing mixtapes. We doing books. We doing kids books. Like whatever it takes, we'll do whatever it takes. And so don't let your frustration make you stop. Make your frustration keep pressing and keep going. And just know, like C said, we're not competing like for real. We talk the talk, but we're competing against ourselves. And I'm telling you, your day is gonna come, but it's not gonna come if you quit.
Hey, at the Take Control event, you said something. huge, or one of y'all, I don't remember which one it was.
It was me.
C. It's probably C.
No.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it was me. If it was deep, it was
I
me.
don't know if y'all remember the dude that was saying he shared his idea and he was like, well, I'm trying to do this and all that. And whichever one of y'all it was, he was like, yo, what are you waiting for? Is it permission? Like, are you asking me for permission? And I think that's something that a lot of people, kind of get stuck with. So right after we left meeting with Chris on Monday, I sat down with the staff, we ate, and we had that discussion. And literally, and just for you listening, we got some people in the company that, have other skill sets. Of course, we need a particular role done. But for whatever reason, we've stopped doing the other role that we like or the other thing that we have that skill set for, because we've kind of like, pigeonholed ourselves. Okay, I'm doing customer service, so I'm going to handle customer service. I'm like, okay, when customer service is done, at a certain time of the day, what are you doing? Like, we live in Lansing. I ain't trying to be funny. Y'all ain't got a whole lot of activities to be doing outside of it. But it's like, what are you doing? Like, what extra things could you be doing? Like, if you like doing something else, why aren't you putting an hour or two extra in that at the end of the day? You know what I'm saying? Like, why aren't you like, and these are, great. See, I was like, wow, like great ideas from the media side. Hey, I was thinking that we could do this. And I'm like, well, why aren't we doing that?
And great people.
And great
people.
Phenomenal people. No question on that. But it's like, the hurdle is it's almost like some of us are waiting for permission from somebody else to do the thing that you love to do the thing that you want to do, that you're passionate about. You don't have to wait. I promise you, an hour a day, dedicate that. If nothing else, 30 minutes a day, start somewhere on the thing that you're passionate about. I don't care what job you have. I don't care how many kids you have. Honestly, find that 15 minutes. I'm saying whatever time you can put to it, you find the 5, you find the 10, you find the 15, and dedicate that 15 minutes to doing that thing. And I'm telling you, like E's saying, just build and build. You can't lose. You cannot lose with that. You just keep building, but you do not need permission from anybody on planet Earth to do what you're doing. Nothing.
You know what else you can't lose with?
Organifi.
Organifi. You cannot lose with Organifi, guys. So here's the deal. To truly thrive in all areas of your life, you cannot ignore the importance of health, all right? We've learned that firsthand, and for many of us, time is our most valuable asset. This is why we love Organifi green juice, an organic superfood green juice powder. You just add water and get your greens anytime. When you invest in your health, you gain more time because you have more energy and focus throughout the day. The best thing about Organifi green juice is that it actually tastes good. And for our listeners, we have a special deal so you can try it yourself. Use the code SUCCESS at Organifi.com to receive 20% off your order. That's promo code SUCCESS at Organifi.com to receive 20% off your order. Again, Organifi is spelled Organifi. Use the code SUCCESS to receive 20% off. Listen, guys, go try it. I keep telling you, it's going to put your energy up, your mental clarity. I didn't have it. I was on struggle when we were back in Michigan over the weekend. I forgot to grab it some kind of way. We packed up, and I felt the difference, man. I definitely didn't feel like I was as sharp as I had been just by
Come to my crib next time. Come to my crib next time. I
didn't even have time. I was like, Lord,
I would have brought you some over. Hey.
Yeah, I wish you could have. We were in Detroit, but I was hurt. I left it, man, just because. Like I said, I'm on it 3 times a day now. I told y'all, morning, noon, and night. I'm making sure I'm hitting it, man, and I'm feeling great. So shout out to Organifi. I'm actually getting ready to push my reorder button because I'm getting low over here, man. But Organifi.com, guys, promo code SUCCESS. Check it out. Get yourself that energy and that clarity you need. I know some people, man, around 2:30, 3 o'clock, you start feeling a little sluggish. Man, get on this Organifi, man, and take your stuff to the next level. And shout out to everybody who's been hitting me, saying that they're trying it and they're loving it. I've been getting text messages. We've been getting emails from people saying, yo, the Organifi is dope. Thank you for recommending it. So go check it out yourself. Real quick, you kind of breezed by it, but I'm sure the people heard it. Maybe some people have heard it, and I promise y'all gonna hear it. Y'all probably gonna get tired of hearing it throughout the next couple months. Because it's football season, but did I hear you say you were on a Wingstop commercial?
Yeah, Wingstop commercial. Yeah.
The vegan thought is back. You know what I'm saying? Hey,
somebody called Didi out on Facebook yesterday. Somebody was like, yo, Diddy, was that E.T. on the commercial? So, Diddy don't know nothing about no commercial. She don't know what's going on. So Diddy was like, trying to find it. It was like, oh yeah, that is him. And she was like, yo, I thought he was a vegan. She said, hey, here's what Diddy said. Diddy said he got to pay for his vegetables some kind of way.
No doubt.
No doubt.
Hey, but you know what I said? You got reparations on the chicken too. Like
come
the
on.
chicken has been good to you
It's been
for
good.
40-some
I'll
years.
be good
How
to
dare
you.
you?
Good
Because
to
you've been
you.
a vegan
Good to you.
for 4 days.
For 4
You know what I'm
days.
saying, Carl?
You feel
You've been a
me?
vegan 4 days.
4
You want to
days.
deny the chicken and all he's done for you in
You
your
know what I'm
life.
saying? Hey, I got a special relationship with that bird, boy. So but also, what C said was so important, and we'll get to this. Maybe we'll get to the Mayweather-McGregor fight, at some point. But one of the things that I think I want to make sure that the listeners catch from this is that, guys, when you for real are good at what you do, you don't take corners. You don't cut corners, guys. Look at what we're doing. We went from doing free videos, and shout out to all of our fam, whether it's blood fam or you fam through BU or fam through the book or the video. I was with Jameis the other day, and he was like, me and Didi, and we were together with him and his girl, and we were having prayer and stuff, and he said to Didi, I felt like, through the book, I know y'all. He was like, I know it's the book and everything, but there's so many people out there, that feel like they know us and we fam, and they call. Yo, do you know that you know how many calls I got? Do you know they stole your voice? E, you know anything about, E, they stole you. Make sure you get that check.
For a low price, they stole it. Yeah, they stole it for a low price.
So I just want to encourage all of you out there that are doing your thing and you're not taking shortcuts, man. Look at us, man, for real. Look at us as a model, and now we are in other, spaces, in other genres. We done went from a mixtape, bruh, to an album to doing commercials and, on other artist stuff. I might be, oh man, I'm gonna kill myself that I can't think of my man's name. Y'all gonna kill me. What's my man's name? Who used to do all the hooks? He recently passed. He's from LA, Oakland. He used to
Nate
do all
Dogg.
Nate Dogg. I might be the new Nate Dogg.
Come on, regulators. Come on, regulators.
I might be the new Nate Dogg.
It's the G-Funky, bro. What? That was my joint right there. You couldn't tell me nothing about that. I used to have that on repeat. Nah, man, I'm just grateful for myself that I stayed on you about doing voiceovers. I'm talking about he used to cuss me out. That was like our main source of contention.
No questions asked.
No shortcuts.
questions asked. Yeah.
I'm talking about he used to be like, see, I'm just saying, bruh, I'm an off-the-cuff speaker. I speak from the heart. How you got me reading these scripts? I don't care how much it is.
I remember, well, you come over here and try it then. Come read it. It's in your head. I can't get it out. It's in your head.
Yeah. That was the breaking point right there. That's when I knew I broke it. He was like, you come do it. See, you got all the ideas and all the answers. Yeah. And now and let me tell you something. For 15 seconds, my. I'm glad I stayed on.
On our way to greatness.
Daniel's son became Mr. Miyagi for once in the relationship.
No question.
When I was able to get on you about that. But we'll talk about that later on, man.
And Danielson fought. Yeah, and Danielson fought.
Hey, I do want to talk about that in depth because, and we don't have time now, but we had some lessons and some takeaways from the Mayweather-McGregor fight that we need a whole podcast for that. And so I do want to jump into Ask ET, of course, brought to you by BreatheUniversity.com. We got a special thing that E and I been working on the last few weeks, which we're going to tell you guys about in the coming weeks, but an opportunity with Breathe University that's just going to be tremendous for our current students, as well as, those of you who decide to join us here shortly. So BreatheUniversity.com, make sure you come check us out, man, and check out what we're building. Guys, we got quite a few questions. I want to find the best ones. Let's go. Before we do that, we didn't say it last week because I guess we got busy and forgot. Let me get your initial thoughts because there's a few questions in there from people about what you guys think about the Cleveland-Boston trade. So let's get our PTI on for a quick second.
Shocked, bruh. I mean, I'm just gonna be real, bro. I was shocked, but I will say this. If it happens, is it gonna happen? See, because I heard
Well,
Kyrie.
I think it's still gonna happen, but there was some concerns with the physical. But I don't know. I think it's gonna happen.
Yeah. So I guess for me, and remember what I told y'all, man. Kyrie was one of those, one of the athletes that I met that really had an impression upon me. But here's a kid, who I think at that time he might have been. I probably spoke to them his freshman year and his sophomore year, and I just remember how locked in he was. And I don't know if you remember, but he actually went on Twitter and made a comment afterwards.
Yeah.
And I just remember how he was had the eye of a tiger, man. And he was just so focused on every word. And you could just see that competitive nature in him, that winner, And my thing is, when you're a leader like that, a winner like that, you do think about, your future and what you want to leave as a legacy in the league. And so I commend him because I felt like, with LeBron going to Miami and then LeBron coming back, there's rumors that he may not stay based on the relationship that he has, with ownership, So I'm like, I feel Kyrie in that I'm not going to allow my career to be predicated on the decisions that LeBron makes. I want to be in control, of my career. I want to be in control of my destiny. So for me, I don't know how the trade is really going to work out, who benefits, who doesn't. But I do, just as somebody who is really deep about personal freedom and that whole nine and the way the market is going this year, I felt that he made a good decision. We'll see 10 years from now if it was the best decision, but I think he made a good decision in saying, I want to control my own destiny.
So I kind of went half of where E went, and from a different perspective though. And what I mean by that is, so you in a situation where, and no disrespect to LeBron, but LeBron is the king. You know what I'm saying? I think it's 2 or 3 other players on the team are under LeBron's sports agency. So you were in a situation where literally, he's controlling the team. And no disrespect. I don't think he's doing anything to hurt the team. But from the perspective of, at some point, little brother want to make his own decisions. You know what I mean? You can't always be little brother. You know what I mean? At some point, you want to grow up and feel like you got control of your own destiny. So that part of what he's saying, I completely agree with. But then, see, I kind of flip. Can you imagine? I just go back. Can you imagine Pippen? Okay, I'm out, Jordan. I don't care what we did, what it looked like I'm out. There's still that part of it that I'm struggling with. Man, y'all have done so much together. Y'all have created this thing. And quiet as kept, it's still the best opportunity to me. That duo is still the best opportunity to have a chance at doing anything in the East Coast. Other than that, I'm pretty much shutting the East Coast down.
What do you have to gain, though? What do you have to gain if you win another championship with LeBron James? What do you have to gain? Yeah, Kobe and Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen did everything together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? LeBron won one with Bosh and Wade. You know what I'm saying? So it's not even it's going to go down in history that they were the best duo ever. LeBron already won with Dwayne Wade. So I'm just saying, to me, what do you seek to gain if you win 3 championships under LeBron's umbrella? You know what I'm saying? What does Kyrie get for that in terms of
what do you get for going to Boston and finishing second in the East for the rest of the time?
Right, yeah.
But here's the deal, though. See, LeBron ain't going to be around forever. So maybe you do sacrifice.
Okay, then why not just stay there and take over when he leaves?
Until he leaves. That's what I was, absolutely.
Hello.
LeBron could
I
be
ain't the
going next
smartest
year.
man in the world, but you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Well, you can. You know what I'm saying? LeBron got it at 82. You know what I'm saying? He did get that opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
But I'm just saying, though, man.
But I'm just saying, if you stay in Cleveland after it took this many years to win, it's always going to be LeBron's. And I don't have a problem with that. Y'all know me. I don't have no problems with being a player, on a team. I don't have no problems with that. But I'm just saying, the world we live in now, you talk about Scottie and Michael Jordan. They're not even on that no more, see? Carl, nobody's not even on it. Everybody is, I'm not saying everybody, but we do live more into a society where it's about the individual and what can the individual accomplish and what can the individual do. So I just think he's taking advantage of the society that we live in today. It is what it is. Everybody leaving and going somewhere
Well, you know
else.
what I say, at the end of the day, I'm grown now. You know what I mean? I got a family. I got to do what's right. for my family and everybody
Right.
else does too. And it's like, yo, they dog Kyrie for going to Boston because he ain't got no shot and he not playing with superstars, and they dog KD for going and playing with Steph and Draymond and Clay.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, you're not really gonna make anybody happy with any move you make, other than staying put. And I think that the only person I kind of feel bad for in this situation, to be honest, is Isaiah Thomas. Like, Lord have mercy, my man put his heart and soul on the line, came back after losing his sister and
Lost
put
a
up 50
tooth.
in the playoffs, and I'm like, they like, you out of here. I'm like, wow, that was pretty savage. And you can see why now for all y'all who feel like athletes not loyal to they squad and they
talk
dip
about
out.
that. Yeah.
I'm just being for real, man. Y'all saw, and not nothing against Boston. It's business. That's what we're talking about today. It's business, and they saw an opportunity to get better and they took it. But at the end of the day, man, you got to do what's best for you. And so I'll be honest, in terms of basketball, from a trade standpoint, it was kind of like, you're like, I don't really know how much is going to change. Like, Isaiah Thomas is a beast. But guess what he is? He is a scoring point guard that's undersized and, maybe a little challenged on defense. So I actually don't see a whole lot changing other than the fact that, I guess Cleveland did get another piece in Crowder. I'm not sure about the big fella. But Crowder's a good perimeter defender, and so I think the thing that Boston,
he's supposed to stop Draymond Green. So we'll see what.
Well, no, I'm not saying he's gonna stop Draymond Green, but I say this: in the East, he might have been Boston's best answer for LeBron, and so if you the Cavs, you took him away, from being able to. Not that anybody gonna stop LeBron, but to me, it just kind of felt like not a lateral move because I think Kyrie. I shouldn't say that. Isaiah was a baller, so I don't know if he's healthy, man. Who knows? It might be an interesting, switching dynamics, and we shall see going forward.
Hey, the one thing we know is he got forever to rest in the East and get healthy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, no doubt.
So,
I'm talking about you don't even need to get ready till right around May. You know what I'm saying? We'll have you ready.
Yeah, so he good
let's
on
see.
that.
All right, let's jump into, man, and thank you guys for shortening your questions on the Ask ET segment. You guys have been great about getting me some stuff I can read, and not the 4-page emails. So let's go over let's do Sean in South Carolina, who said, hey guys, love the podcast. Thank you so much for talking about health, dieting, and exercise. I'm about 100 pounds overweight and I desperately want to lose it. I've lost anywhere from 15 to 30 before, but eventually gained it right back. You guys have convinced me to get back on track, and I want to do it for good this time, but need some help staying focused. ET, what do you got?
Okay, well, first of all, C said it in a couple weeks. We got something for you, like for real, not just to ask the question, but we have a tool that we're gonna put in place that's gonna really help you. But I'll say this, man. You guys know I'm deep into the intrinsic, extrinsic motivators. That's my thing, and I think the reason why we have a hard time making stuff into a lifestyle, is because we don't have the right motive pushing us. And as I said before, it's almost like I'm cheating with my diet, because it's, I should say my lifestyle, because I'm doing it for something greater than me. I'm doing it for my wife's health, so it's not like I'm trying to get ready for a high school reunion. And I think that's the challenge that some people have, is that you're trying to do something massive and you have an event mindset, and you can't have an event mindset, you know what I'm saying, and accomplish something great. And so I don't have an event mindset. I'm not doing this for the family reunion. I'm not doing this for the high school reunion. I'm not doing this because there are a pair of pants I saw that I like, that I want to be able to squeeze into. I'm doing this because I want to give my wife another 10 years on her life, and if not another 10, whatever time frame she has left, I want to make sure that it's optimal. She's at her optimal level of health. And so it's easier for me to do it because I have something driving me. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's one of the keys.
Yep, Vanessa in Louisville said, no question, just want to let you guys know I applied and got accepted into MSU. Hopefully I'll see you guys at the Success Series.
Oh, you would
So
definitely see it.
congratulations on making the best decision of your life.
That's right.
Jackie in Toledo said, thank you guys so much for this podcast. I listen to you guys on my commute to work, and you guys make me laugh hysterically. Quick question. I'm taking the bar exam for the second time here shortly. I failed the first time because I had severe anxiety before the test. Any suggestions for this go around on how to keep calm before the exam?
Well, hey, do the opposite of what you did the first time. No, I'm being for real. Like go through that whole process. Why did you have anxiety challenges? What was that all about? You know, and then I would just say do the opposite of that. And then I would also recommend, I'm real big on people who have been successful at a thing. I'm real big on interviewing them and asking them what were the secrets to their success, and then applying the principles that they give me.
Hey, I just add real quick, try as best as you can to simulate the conditions before the actual thing. So if you could find out the room that it's going to be in, go sit in that room for 30 minutes or an hour with a piece of paper and just simulate it, get into the environment, get your, you know what I mean? Try to get your body in the place where it's not a new thing for you, where it's somewhat familiar. And that should help with some of the anxiety.
Well, that's coming from a person who passed tests.
I think we'll pause it there because I hear my kids, so we need to start winding up here shortly.
You don't have some of that other stuff. See,
the negative reviews.
Oh, you know what? And people ask about that every week. Shout out to everybody who writes in every single week asking for them. I got to keep y'all on your toes, man. We can't do negative reviews every week. Y'all get too used to it. And Carl feelings get hurt, and we have to coax him out of his room. And his wife is
I've been
upset.
reading. See, I'm trying to find some sensational stuff to bring out.
Carl's self-esteem gets shot. He's not himself at the conferences, so we can only do that once in a blue moon to bring that out. Real quick announcements, man. Shout out to everybody coming to DC. We will see you in a few days. Pumped up about that. We'll leave for DC in a couple days. And for those of you in DC, do we have the information? I know we're doing a spiritual joint Friday night too, right?
Yes.
So you can come check us out at that. And then, of course, the conference is on Saturday. Looking forward to that. Washington, D.C., etinspires.com/events. Come check us out. Also, let's see, LA is on the calendar, right?
Yes,
so West
sir.
Coast,
Yes, sir.
we have not forgot about you. Stay Ready is coming to LA, and the whole crew will be out there November 12th, all right? Come help me celebrate my birthday. My birthday's on the 7th, but we will be out in sunny LA. So I'm gonna wait till I get to LA to celebrate it. And
Smart man.
Yeah, and also, guys, the cruise, the Phenomenal Life Cruise, right? Make sure you get your tickets for that. Carl, they got to win to get the rate or whatever it is.
We're trying to extend it a bit, but it's October as of now. October.
Okay, October. So we coming up. I told we talked about this months ago, and now we coming up on some deadlines. But we are going to be taking a cruise to a bunch of cool islands, man. Come hang out with us. Live podcast. He's going to be speaking. He's going to be doing some morning wake-up sessions, some energizers, and teaching you guys how to get your mindset right going forward.
I got that. I got the address. September 1st at Restoration Praise Center. Restoration Praise Center, and that's in Bowie, Maryland, and it's 14201 Old Stage Road in Bowie, Maryland. Again, Restoration Praise Center, September 1st, and that's at 7:30 p.m. The doors open at 7, and we start 7:30.
Hey, text it to me, E. Let me make sure I get it in the show notes too.
Gotcha.
We'll put it in. We'll put it in the show notes. Anything
and that's
else?
free. I don't know if you said that, E. Sorry, that's free,
I
y'all.
did not say
Yeah,
it.
that's
I did
free.
not say
You
it.
can just come. We just.
Well, can we get a different word? Yeah, I don't like the word free.
I'm sorry.
I'm just saying. I just want
It's
people
cost
to come.
effective.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I just want people to come and still feel like they need to apply it, not. I'm just gonna come ET free. Like for real. When you guys come, it's a spiritual event, but for real, come with the same, mindset. If you pay $500-$600, come ready to learn and to apply some of the principles that we're going to discuss.
Yeah, and do me a favor, if y'all could hold the show for like 20 minutes. My plane lands at like 6:40, so I'll be jetting over there ASAP, but would like to be a part of the. So let the praise team sing a little longer than you normally do.
They're going to do that anyway.
We'll be there. Real quick, guys, definitely want to say shout out, man, and dedicate this podcast to the people of Houston. Obviously, man, it's heartbreaking just watching, the stuff that's going on.
We got
Obviously,
people there, man.
family and friends
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
Our
BU,
prayers,
BU.
thoughts,
Yeah.
and money and everything
Yeah.
else are with you guys. We're doing all we can on this end. But just I don't know if you want to speak to it, man. But just an awful time right now. But I know we got people in Houston, who are listening to us. So if you could do this nugget of the day and kind of give them a word, to keep their heads up. People going through a lot. People, don't know if they lost everything, if family members are okay. Just crazy stuff. And one of the worst natural disasters that the U.S. has ever seen. And I can't even imagine what people are going through. But my family, like I said, our thoughts and prayers, and our ETA family, our Breathe You family that's down there. We have tons of people. And to be honest, Houston, when we look at our demographic, just for us, Houston has always been,
I'll say top three.
Top tier
three.
market for us.
Yeah.
You guys
Yeah.
have always showed love, man, and promise, man. We're gonna, as soon as time permits, we got to come back and do a free event, something, man, just to hopefully get the spirits up and do anything we can to be a blessing for you guys. So if you have a nugget of the day that you can leave us on, to give the people of Houston a word of encouragement going forward, man, I'd appreciate that.
As I was thinking about Tobe and Matthew and T Mac, there's just so many different people, man, that we love. There, man. As I was thinking about them, I thought about a story I read in Dennis Kimbrough's book, and it was a king who asked for one of the wise men to make him a ring with an insignia, and the wise man asked the king, like, "Yo, what is it specifically that you want me, to write?" And the king was like, "Yo, I don't know, but I do know as a king, I'm gonna have a lot of success, but there's gonna be loss, there's gonna be defeat, there's gonna be disappointment, and I need something that will encompass all of that." And so when I thought about, man, all the good times we've had in Houston, what is it, Carl? We got, the Cheesecake Factory, we stay there, we got the Grand Lux. Is it Gloria's? I just got turned on to, I think that's the restaurant, I got turned on that restaurant. Man, we just had so many good times. Of course, I worked with the University of Houston, with D-Rob and those guys back in the day, been to a couple of the games. Man, we just had so many good times. I've done some one-on-ones, we've done some small sessions, we've done a Super Bowl, man. My wife and I, we did the Super Bowl there. Man, we've just had a phenomenal, experience. TSU with Coach Davis, and so as I thought about all the good times, and Didi and I were watching, the storm as it was coming, once it hit, I thought about that king's ring, and the insignia said, "This too shall pass." This too shall pass. And Yolanda Adams has a song, and I wish we could play it as we go out. But she has a song that says, like every storm that has come before, this too shall pass. And I just want you guys to know, this is not gonna break us. I promise you, this is not gonna break us. This is only gonna make us stronger. This is only gonna define, the city of Houston, the state of Texas, and tough times, don't break tough people. It just brings out, more of that resilience, more of the brilliance, So I just want to tell all my people in Houston, keep your head up. Keep your head up. We're going to get through it. We're going to get through the losses. Like CJ said, not just me, but you guys got a whole world that's supporting you right now. We're supporting you financially. Like C said, we're supporting with our time. We're supporting you guys. We love you. So to our BU fam, to Tobe, like we just had Tobe. It was a day or two prior to Harvey. Tobe had just won,